I'm gonna use one of Jolson's momentum.
Question, would I be able to tell I'm being scanned? I am empathic.
You can roll insight medicine if you like. If you get at least as many as him, you'll catch on to it.
Oh, this will be fun to try.
Oh, and we gained 2 momentum.
So you spent 1, gained 2, so you're up by 1.
I will spend 1 just cause.
Ooh.
He catches me trying to sneak him. I don't know.
Actually, what I'll do, because I can just do it this way. Mr. Dunnan, you feel out the room, and when you kind of reach out, kind of feel for the emotions in the room, general crew sense is that there are other people in the room, and they're generally just, fairly relaxed. They're not too. If anything, they're antsy. They kind of want to get to. They want to get. It's that feeling of they haven't really. They kind of been sitting on their hands for a while. You get a wave of suspicion, or not directed at you, just generic, off of the captain. And you can kind of sense that she was feeling out to see who was sensing her, but she doesn't really. She probably hasn't recognized that you are the one that are looking around, or that anyone even is looking at her. And flip side, Captain, you're not aware of anyone reaching out. You kind of feel around to see. You kind of have a slight tingle in the back of your neck, but then again, you just woke up, so.
Oh, then I'll sit opposite of the captain. Captain? And I'll motion towards the chair, like asking permission to sit down.
The captain does not respond.
Medical emergency.
Oh, sorry. Yes. By all means, sit. I forgot I was muted.
The captain was miming that whole time.
I'll sit down then. Anything bothering you this morning, Captain?
Just after what happened a few weeks ago, just trying to. Plus, ever have the feeling you're being watched? It's kind of like a tingle on the back of your neck. I can't explain it. It happens from time to time. It's nothing to worry about.
As us betazoids rely less on sight than you do. Not really, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah, she looks at you and her eyes are solid black like yours. I didn't mind, counselor. And she just takes another sip of her coffee. On the crew, you're 3 weeks on board?
He looks around and catches the sight of, Garrick sitting right there for a second, and then he turns back to you. The crew's in good order. At least, that's what's appropriate to say at the moment.
Kind of looks at Garrix and just kind of chuckles a little bit.
Garrick is just kind of oblivious about that. He's more interested in eating a giant plate of sausages.
Well, They are certainly a lively bunch. And she actually goes back because she's finished her coffee, goes gets another cup, and then comes back. Oh,
Have you been?
so
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna make small talk. If you had something to say, go ahead.
How are you faring, Commander?
I believe that was directed at Garrix.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, quite busy making little adjustments here and there as a result of the shakedowns, but overall, I think we're in tip-top shape. Wiping a little bit of schmutz off his face as he says that, probably.
Well, how is she up to your standards, Lieutenant Commander?
Oh, well, having to manage 3 separate sets of EPS conduits is a bit new, but I'm managing.
Yeah. I remember the first time I had to do that. That was inspiring and frightening at the same time.
It's a good crew. We should be at peak performance in no time.
She just kind of takes another big drink of coffee. Gentlemen,
Captain Nadal, Commander Zora, to the Admiral's office, please.
if you don't mind, gentlemen, I believe I will be going. And she gets up and she refills her coffee and then goes to the Admiral. But yeah.
I'll turn to Garrett. I'm very intrigued to see the relationship between a captain and an admiral when there's an admiral on board your ship.
Well, Captain Nadal has been quite professional thus far. I assume they seem to have a very close working relationship, as far as I can.
Well, we'll have to see.
Have you known Admiral Trailblazer very long, or before were posted here?
I haven't met anyone out this far. Don't even think I've ever heard of the admiral until 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's probably understandable. But I assure you, thus far he has proven to be extremely capable. It will be a little unusual working this closely with the Admiralty, but I welcome the challenge.
And he's always had a fruitful and good relationship with the crew and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
You seem a little hesitant there, Lieutenant Commander.
Let's just say we met under very unusual circumstances. There was definitely an element of, I suppose the best way to phrase it is getting off on the wrong foot. But it seems that bygones are bygones.
Nothing mutinous, I hope. I've yet to encounter that anywhere in Starfleet.
First time for everything.
Throat punch!
Well, I would rather not speak poorly of a former colleague. I'll just leave it at that.
I would like you to go into a little bit more detail, Commander.
And then we move to the corridor where Captain Nadal and Commander Zora are making their way to the Admiral's office. They kind of just so happen to be heading the same direction to his floor on deck 4, to his office on deck 4.
High five, Altera. That was a good switch.
Commander, I see you got the message to go to the principal's office as well.
Of course, Captain.
All right. Well, oh, how have things been? I knew you had for the Admiral, which I'm sure is classified, but how have you been the last couple of weeks? One I haven't seen on board for a spell.
Buried in paperwork, as humans like to call it.
I always did dislike that part of the job, but the perks outweigh that, so paperwork is a necessary evil.
Unfortunately, with the hat that I wear, I'm always buried in it.
Ooh. Oh, yes, that's right. And she just kind of's like, oh, yeah. Well, you wonder what he's gonna talk, what he needs us for. Yeah,
I
doesn't
suppose
matter.
We'll find out.
Suppose we will.
You both arrived just outside of his office. Around that time. He seems to be looking down at a pad, tapping away at it, and looks at the larger screen to his right and kind of looks back down again, keeps tapping.
I pushed the little button.
Oh, come in, come in.
There's no assistance for me to, like, color out.
Take that. No.
Okay. Touche.
Captain, Commander, how are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. She still has that cup of coffee. Just getting morning coffee in before it's in the ready room.
Well, I already have an assignment for you. We will be amending our patrol route to meet up with the USS St. John. They apparently are standing accused of smuggling weapons to Izar 7 from the Kale military base in Sector Gamma 12. And it seems Captain Hamaker is hoping that we'll clear his name since this is a formal charge against us. And he stands accused by a, what does this say here? Cheus Lismar Sekur. He's a base commander of the Kalian military base. And as a note, the Kalians are someone we are trying very slowly to get a research treaty with. It's tacit at best, so we'd rather not tick them off more than we already have.
I wasn't aware that the St. John was carrying specialized weapons.
Well, they do have an armory aboard, but Starfleet isn't in the business of dealing in arms. Not usually, anyway. And even here in the R&D, we don't like trading for weapons for research. It tends to make more problems than it solves. Never mind the Prime Directive violation.
I knew that the St. John was combat, but I was not aware of. I'm trying to picture why they would think they were smuggling weapons.
I don't know either, but when one of our captains is accused, we have to make every appearance that we are looking into it. And I actually do want you to give this a full and thorough investigation. I'm going to try to contact the Fredericton and see if I can get Amos to give me more details on these Kalians, and I'll try to pass that along. Zora, you've already briefed me on the Kalian military, so feel free to disseminate what information you feel is necessary about them. You're clear to talk about that with the captain here. Is there anything else I need to tell you before I let you go? Any questions for me before I send you off?
No, I'm just. Any questions?
I think it'd be prudent to gather more information as we arrive. We should probably go through the logs of the St. John prior to our arrival.
Is there any way you can get those for us, Admiral?
Zora will have access to those logs. She has clearance, so just pull it under your. It's on Intel file. Hold on. Intel file. Delta Mu 05. You should be able to pull that up fairly quickly. And that should get you access to the St. John logs, as we've heard them so far. But once we meet up with the ship, the captain will give over investigation rights. Right now, we're the closest thing this fleet has to investigative matters, and I really don't want to call out a JAG officer from Narendra. That's more trouble than we need out here.
Yeah. Bad thing about lawyers, they tend to ask questions that we can't answer.
Our job is to make sure we get answers before they have questions.
I agree.
Based on Starfleet protocol, I believe the captain here could act as a JAG officer in the moment of this crisis.
And that's what I'm going with. That way they can't... and that's why we're going out there instead of someone from the 10th Expeditionary. I don't need them having to go through 5 layers of security clearance just to handle what might be a minor incident. And if it's a major incident, we need to handle this within the fleet. If it gets too serious and you're unable to solve this, Captain, I'll have to step in. But I'd rather not. I'm trying to handle other matters elsewhere in the fleet at the moment.
I understand, Admiral. I will give it my utmost attention.
I'll give you authorization to hail the Fredericton if you need special diplomatic clearances, but I'd rather you didn't bother Amos too much. He's in the middle of negotiations of his own right now.
Yeah. He never seemed to accept me, so I try to avoid as much as I can. Something about the green skin seems to bother him.
I don't know about that, but I'll have a talk with him next time I see him. That I can't really stand for that sort of attitude in my fleet, Federation official or not.
I mean, for all I know, he just had a bad experience with an Orion female and just decided, all of them are like that. Quite a bit, Admiral. I will give this my utmost attention, and Zora goes, Commander, if any information you can get to me will be greatly appreciated. There's one more thing I would like and can provide it. Is there any way I could get my counselor to and she would know his name, but I
Dunnan.
no, not Dunnan. The captain of the St. John.
A Hamaker.
And yeah, I know Hamaker is a officer, but if there was any way I could get his psychiatric profile along with his and ops officer.
If you want medical files, you'll have to go through your counselor and tag with them to make sure you're cleared to see that information. Unless you can give good cause to see the medical file, I don't see them giving it over to you. But who knows? They may be a little more lax than the St. John. They are a military ship, more often than not.
Well, I was asking for him to have access to them, but I understand, Admiral. I am not qualified to look at psych reports. However,
That's why I've
told our
assigned
counselor is pretty good.
That's why I assigned a counselor to your ship. You're going to need one, especially since we're going to be out here a lot longer. We're going to be operating on normal procedures now for the fleet, so we're not going to be seeing the Rinja for a long time. All things going well.
Is
All the
there
players are like, "You're going with us?"
any more information I may need, Admiral? Of law to go over to review.
None at this time. Not now, anyway.
All right. If I may be excused, I have a court case to.
For the log, you're the ranking officer in the mission, and so you handle this. The only reason you need to talk to me is if you need to talk with the rest of the fleet. Clear? I may be on your ship, but my office just happens to be here. This is your ship. You run the show. Same as before. Well, I suppose not same as before. Same as it was supposed to be. He shrugs.
I mean, she was waiting for you anyway. But I understand, Admiral. I have to go over some old case files so that I can just review my law knowledge. She just kind of chuckles because she hasn't had to do this in a while.
You're dismissed.
And she gets up and goes. I'll be in my ready room if you need me. She goes directly to her ready room. That is still only half drank.
Commander?
These Killian Star Empire. Is this the first time they've actually made a play like this?
First time. I mean, they're usually very... I think Amos called them especially functionary, which is his way of saying they're very formal. But I think the worst they ever accused us of was not bowing properly. They've never accused us of anything as serious as weapon smuggling. That said, the last encounter was with the Fredericton. So St. John's the second ship to meet with them. And they were just doing a security check to make sure they were okay.
FYI, by the way, that complication.
Oh, that's what that was for? Okay.
It'd be interesting. I'll do more research on this. But this could be a power play by them. It seems like.
Wouldn't surprise you. Wouldn't be the first species out here. Besides which, the Al Nomad may have been poking at them to give me a hard time just out of spite. Sounds like something they'd do.
Potentially. Excuse me. I will work on the research need to be done on them. And
all right, you're dismissed.
Information to the captain.
Oh, this is going to be fun. And then scene change. So we're going to lose that particular bit of momentum. Where's the bridge? I lost it. How did I lose the bridge?
Deck watch.
Wash took it somewhere.
Give it back, Wash.
I mean, I'm in doing simulations.
So you're in the ready room. Special thanks, of course, to Asher's Scientific for the awesome graphics that they have for everyone to use. A little graphic there. Some guys already in there.
There is 2 chairs. Okay, I was like, who is sitting next to me like a hoarder? Get away.
No seat for you, Jolson.
Right.
You'll have to stand. Or you can pull out
I'm
a chair,
getting-
I suppose.
I'm getting a chair. I'm senior staff. I get a chair now.
It's true. So yes, actually, it's probably a slight delay. Take that back. Nadal, you would say again?
I'm going to be on the bridge unless there's other need for me.
No, you can be on the bridge. Probably somewhere like back here. Captain on the bridge? Actually steps on.
She does the typical Eddie's. Go back to your business.
Life forms. Do.
Bit, Jolson, you almost got it. And goes into the ready room.
Well, the captain
Sorry.
just walks right on through. Jolson has command of the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yep, she has something else that is on her plate that she has to take care of.
How does the chair feel, Commander?
I think that was aimed at you, Jolson.
Huh? What? Oh,
This-
chair's fine. A lot better than and standing over this console 8 hours a day.
Sir, are you aware you're in command of the bridge?
Oh. Yes. As I get up and move to the center chair.
Okay, because I only asked that question because I thought he was in the center chair. So take that back, and then now I will ask it. How does the chair feel, Commander?
Same answer, no.
It's a bit bigger than you think it would be.
A lot of responsibility, or you would literally like a smaller chair?
I'm gonna go with lots of responsibility.
Does that bother you?
Not particularly. If you would like to schedule an appointment with me, counselor, or I'm sure we can clear out my schedule.
Oh, no need for anything so formal. Just checking up on you.
I see. As I hear you writing up case notes.
You spent any time on the holodeck recently?
No, I've been a bit busy with the shakedown.
Well, spend a couple of hours there and tell the captain I told you to.
Oh, sir, do I get extra time off too? says one of the officers sitting at a chair nearby, grinning.
Your chair's not that important, Lieutenant.
Oh. Aye, sir.
But you're still vital to the operation of the ship. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, making sure our temperature is well mediated. No one needs to get chilly aboard.
I'm going to turn around and go to that lieutenant. Do you feel all right about your job, Lieutenant?
I mean, it's not my specialty, sir, but it's a science post. It's bridge experience, somehow.
You should schedule a meeting with the lieutenant commander then to talk about your future. We wouldn't want you burning out.
I mean, I can, sir, but this really isn't all that much of a burnout, honestly. I was mostly kidding. This is probably the easiest post on the bridge.
I find that there's always some truth to the humor, Lieutenant.
You know, you say it's easy now, but when you have hull breaches on multiple decks, environmental control suddenly becomes quite stressful.
Yeah, I remember the drill. Ugh.
Have you been drilling people on hull breaches?
Well, the Admiral has, anyway. During that last shakedown we did the other day, we had to, I think it was like deck 15, there was, the whole section was supposed to be in space, so I had to turn down the temperature way down, and I had to accommodate the temperature variance in the surrounding decks. That was a bit tricky. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, good.
If I recall,
Good
our scores in that
experience.
shakedown were quite satisfactory.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. Oh, someone found their shower too cold. Hold on.
I'm gonna turn around back to Joel. Well, Jolson, if you have any trouble keeping up with the people in your department, I could help.
Thank you. I'll take that into consideration. So, Wash, how's she flying?
Oh, yeah. In 1 second.
Oh yeah.
The dog comes out of her ready room and says, set
Captain on the
course
bridge?
for whatever the planet name was. I have done forgot.
Course set for planet name you forgot. Set, Captain. I'm just kidding. Jamie said that. Wash wouldn't, but that just I
ESR
had
7.
to.
Yeah. And yeah, make it so, and then she turns around and goes back into her. ready room.
Captain.
Hey, what? I stand up to give her the chair, and then like just kind of slowly sit back down. Okay.
Oh,
You know what? Wait. And she goes and says, "Thank you, Jolson," and takes her seat. Later, after she's probably got a while.
Captain, do you what speed did you want against, Captain?
Warp 7.6.
Warp 7.6. Course laid in. Go ahead, Wash.
Engaged.
Wash, give me a control plus con difficulty 0.
Control plus con. I get to make some determination, so I am going to spend a threat so that we can add a die. And I don't want to give you any more than that, so get over it. And sorry, my window changed sizes. Okay. And so helm operations. So my focus is yes. Complication range 1. Dice set to 3. Okay, here.
Oh, did you give me a threat for an extra die?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Shut.
Ooh. That was close. You're assisted by the ship's engine something?
Well,
Engine-
I didn't get a success of the kit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It doesn't help at all. That's right.
But do you have
so-
cautious? Do you have not cautious, but the other
Daring.
Bold gun.
Bold.
Oh, I have BoltCon. That's why I spent the threat.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. That's why I spent it, and I totally forgot.
Well,
Thank
now would be the time to re-roll.
Right?
Now you can roll for the ship.
Yeah, we can roll for the ship. I don't have that open yet, so give me a second. Where is the new Tenjin? There it is. Come on, open up. There we go. And let's see. You said what for this ship now?
It'd be Engine's Con, isn't it?
Just kind of okay. One die. There we go. 2 momentum.
I'm back. I was hearing. I had to mute my mic for a second. That is 2 momentum gain. Oh, Zora got me.
When she walked out of her ready room, the captain had a pad, and she'll go, Counselor, I need you to write up a detailed report on these psychometric profiles. Why briefing later on?
Do I feel like I'm being addressed?
I said counselor.
Oh, I thought you said commander, and there are like 30 commanders here.
I did too. Yeah, I heard the same. So, oh, okay.
Oh. So are you handing me something, or am I just supposed to go? Okay, I'll take the pad and look what's on it.
It's got the names of the ops officer of the St. John, the tactical officer of the St. John, and its captain. Make a report on. She basically wants you to profile them.
I can definitely review the information, but sharing any of it is going to need an explanation.
I will give you your explanation later, counselor.
I'll make the
Share it with
report,
me.
but I can't release it until you share that with me.
Well aware, counselor.
I would rather it sooner rather than later, Captain. With all due respect.
Don't you have to have respect
Jamie-
first before you
Right.
have respect?
Jamie says to Wayne, remember you're sitting at your chair, so you can just like literally open up that little panel and just suddenly just type it in and be like, there you go, counselor.
Yeah, but she figures it's something she should probably say, and she can't say it on the bridge yet.
If only we had a room for that.
I do.
What? There's a few.
And we will get to it in a little bit.
Wash, I'm showing we're going to get there about 3 days, unless at current course.
Current course and current speed will be there in 3 days, Captain.
Oh.
Well, with that, counselor, if you would join me in my ready room, please.
And I will be right back.
Alright, ma'am. And I'll follow her in there.
Apologize for hijacking you.
I guess I take the stone chair.
Commander
Again.
Zora does nothing.
As we're walking in the captain's ready room, I'm gonna turn around and look at Jolson. You're gonna be a commander in no time with all that experience, Commander.
Well, halfway there.
There's a chime on the door shortly after Dunnan comes into the ready room.
And the captain will look and say, well, to get in. And then I assume I hear that chime and she gets enter. Right, counselor. So why I asked you for those reports is looks at the commander like a confirmation she can share this. And then
It is your choice, Captain.
okay, very well. I just Admiral. So the captain of the St. John is being accused of smuggling weapons or selling them on the black market or something by the race Izar 7. Yeah.
The Kalians.
And I need to know if there's anything in these officers' profiles that would suggest that they would even be capable of doing such a thing. These are formal charges. Planetary government. Yeah.
I will. Once I receive confirmation from the JAG officer on the case, I'll put that together.
You just did.
I didn't know you were a practicing lawyer.
I am in certain situations, this situation being one of those times. Don't actually know the protocol behind it, but she states it.
Actually, I'm gonna give you a roll here. I'm gonna ask you for a reason con difficulty. I'll just put it at 1.
God dang it. Spinning
Yeah,
a momentum. Persuasion?
I'm trying to gauge.
Sure.
Say again on focus.
Persuasion, diplomacy, or composure?
I'll give you diplomacy at increased complication because it's related to that.
All right. Take 2 threat because I'm rolling a 4th die. Be bad. Oh, it's not that bad. Successes.
That's generating 2 threat. 2 momentum. You recall that in Starfleet regulations, in the event that JAG officer, the arrival of a JAG officer is too distant, it would take too long. It's up to command level or higher, which the admiral in this case authorized you to be the acting JAG officer for the case. You're basically an acting adjudicator or judge to see if this is a case worth kicking up into the actual JAG office. Like actually saying, well, we'll secure the planet, we'll secure all the evidence, we'll wait till a proper full team comes in. But usually a preliminary thing like this, especially with an alien race, they don't like sending out a JAG officer all the way from Starbase to what might be just a minor case or a dismissible case. So the captain of a ship and the XO of a ship are allowed that privilege. And you actually could have invoked that on your own. Theoretically, the captain of the St. John could have, but he went that extra step and went, no, I'm going to make sure these guys can't accuse me of trying to save my own neck. I'm going to let another captain or the admiral, because he didn't know who he was going to send, to decide if he should take it or if you should take it.
Yeah,
so you're in the right. You're what you're doing is legal.
So she spouts off that protocol.
Well, then, with your authorization, I will compose the file. I would urge you, if you, at the very first sign of notice that this might be complicated, that you contact the JAG office, since you have a lack of legal experience. But until such time, looks in order.
Input, counselor. You are dismissed.
Captain, and I'll walk out.
She kind of looks up at the commander.
So I've compiled a report here, Captain, for you.
Thank you.
The Kaleen Star Empire is a very monarchy type society, and they are deemed militaristic and slightly borderline on the expansion. Usually they are known to bully other species through intimidation, conquer, or even politically try to pressure them. This could be a play on either one of the, I would say, other members of their royal court, or it could be one of the power play, considering their current political struggles with that they're having interior. It could be a way for the Grand Archduchess to gain more power or favor in the courts. Bullying the Federation would go a long way for a power play, you could say, within their society. Keep in mind, this is only speculation at this time.
Oh. Is essentially what I got from that. They like to bullying. Am I kind of off or close or?
It's a tactic that they use, not necessarily they like to bully.
Okay.
They like to express their dominance, you could say.
Rolls her eyes because she knows people like that. Right. Well, I have a lot of planning and thinking to do. Commander, if you would be so kind, unless you have something that more pressing, I would like you to take the bridge and let me get some of this stuff set up for a defense for.
Very well. I'll be on the bridge if you need anything else.
And she goes, just dismissed. Yeah.
Very well.
She starts doing paperwork, as the commander so eloquently put it earlier.
What sort of paperwork are you looking to assemble?
Going to try to basically come up with a defense for them if it's needed. Typical things like draw up a game plan, stuff like that. Is yada yada.
You can give me a reason con roll. Difficulty 2.
Diplomacy?
I'll give it to you an increased complication because it's related.
Sure. I am going to use the 3 momentum for 4 dice.
Oof.
Can we stop giving him reason con rolls? It's killing our
Please.
momentum.
Right? Can any of the other players have it, please? No, I'm just kidding. We'd like momentum too.
Well, you hit the threshold. Don't worry, I'm not getting threat. It's fine.
Ooh,
Wait,
That
that
wasn't
sounded
for me.
ominous. Yeah, Jinx.
You're able to assemble a lawful defense plan, and you do discover as part of that until you have more investigative information about what exactly they're accused of, evidence, both positive and negative, witnesses, that sort of thing. Until you get more of that, it's hard to plan, but you have a lot of templates set up. So you have a lot of forms already kind of set aside. So essentially, you have the advantage. Paperwork in order. It's that way you don't have to spend every time you need to hand out a warrant or you need to log something. You just have to fill in the blanks. It's not having to sit there and go, oh, hold on, I have to look up which textbook I'm supposed to quote here.
Yep, that's kind of what I was getting at. She's going full Foggy Nelson on this, I guess.
Complication-wise, though,
The bridge is on fire.
your paperwork is out of order?
you know
it took
that
me a long time.
you know in cases like this, the Starfleet tends to side with the alien race out of an attempt to adhere strongly to the respecting the laws of another culture. So if you want to win this, Starfleet regulations, you're within your rights regulation-wise, but now you're going to have to deal with Kalian law if you want to guarantee this guy gets out from it. Because if you only prove it on the Starfleet side, that won't satisfy the aliens. And you know from diplomatic experience that winning a case back on Earth is one thing. Winning it in an alien court's a whole other problem. And the Kalians are like, you guys only had first contact. The Fredericton had first contact with them maybe 2 weeks ago. Like, so it has not been. Starfleet doesn't know very much about them beyond what the commanders already told you.
Yep. She has plans in order with limited information. Things can only go well.
Are there any acts people want to do over the 3 days on the way to Izar 7?
I need to do paperwork, I guess. Look over people.
I promised Jolson a diagnostic on the sensor arrays.
I'm being out of character. I'm being pedantic, and it's literally 3 microns.
3 whole microns? That could be like a life and death difference.
It could miss like a single hydrogen atom, and it could be the most important hydrogen atom in the universe.
Aren't they all the same?
Shut up.
Not if you count isotopes.
All right, I'll start from the most severe, as it were. Dunnan, I'm going to ask you for your. So, what are you doing with the medical files again?
What did they give me?
What you have is a report from about. Hold on, I'm going to randomly roll this. A report from 3 weeks ago to the Admiral regarding the mental health of these individuals, just as it's a standard thing the Admiralty gets every so often. Occasionally, you've actually worked with the Admiralty staff to kind of help verify something if the Admiral doesn't understand why a doctor relieved somebody or relieved a captain or anything like that. He calls in the ship counselor aboard the Tenjin and goes, "Hey, could you translate some of this for me?" But you have their medical file, and they're locked to counselor codes only, which actually, given that you're on this ship, it's been locked to you because you're the ship's counselor now. The CMO could access them, but the CMO is very hands-off when it comes to psychiatric care. That's your department. So they try not to step on your toes at all because that complicates both your jobs.
Then I'll take the reports that they gave me. I'll read them to see if anything obviously stands out, and after that, I'm going to take the last. You said they happen every few months, so I'll probably take the last 5 years worth of information on those officers and look for patterns, deviations, and compare those to what I know.
Okay. And to confirm, who do you have? You have I know you have ops, the CO.
The tactical officer and the ops officer.
So ops, CO, chief of security, basically.
Anybody, I mean, I would have added the engineer in, but it's basically anybody who would be in charge of manifest of the ship.
I'll throw the engineer in.
What I'll actually do with that, I'll have Nadal assist with on their end, having gotten the right, not just the department heads that she's naming, but also maybe anyone who's ancillary that might be actually relevant. Like she might have thought ahead and went, oh wait, this person too, because technically the ops guy doesn't do everything by himself. He has people. He has a whole department dedicated to making sure the ship's running properly. Zora's asking for, can I make a roll to get the case file from the Killian Star Empire? You can. The difficulties can be in no, there's somebody there, so there's no. You can give me I will say, presence plus con. Difficulty, I'm going to just set it at 2.
And this is to do what? That's for him to...
That's for Zora to get
okay.
the case file thing. You can be assisted by computers plus... hold on. There's a thing I want to use for that. For the ship. It'd be computers... computers command for the ship, actually. For assist. For you, Dunnan, what you're doing is going to require a reason or insight medicine. Reason, just reading over, making sure and checking what they're having. Insight, if you're trying to make your own determinations from from their data, like you're trying to make your own diagnoses. And that will be difficulty 3, since you're also expanding it out a bit. You will be the scope of it, but you will be assisted by the ship's medicine computers because you are using the ship's computers and the medical department if you need consultation or you need help with any understanding something. And
you said that am I going to get different results from using either reason or insight?
It's more of the style you're doing it, but they both will get you... I might flavor the answers differently, but you're getting the same information.
Okay, well, it doesn't really matter because they're both 11, but I'll use insight then. And a focus in either psychology or psychiatry?
I'll take either of those quite easily.
And...
I have to deal to myself.
I'll wait till Zora's done with her roll. Or whoever was... I think it's Zora, yeah, to see if I get momentum to...
And actually, Zora, you can use investigation. I'll let you straight up use investigation. I won't complicate it. It makes sense. One momentum gain.
By the 3rd dice.
With that momentum. Ooh.
Well, let me roll the ship before you do anything.
Sure.
Wasn't I assisting on one of these rolls?
You're assisting on Dunnan's roll.
Yeah, I'll spend my determination on... I'm driven to explore.
You're gonna have to walk me down the path on that.
I've never treated these patients before, so this is all new to me. So my desire or interest in seeing what's here or exploring what's here and their files is going to allow me to find things that other people may pass over out of disinterest.
Since you used insight, I'll allow that.
Does my determination spin to cover re-rolling the ship's dice? Or just my...
Just yours. It's my understanding.
That's 4.
And Nadal, you're assisting with. I will actually have you, since you are command here. I'll let you actually use presence command, basically ordering the St. John to give you the files, or just looking them up on your own computer in the database. Actually, it's more that. Actually, it's more that. Cancel what I just said. Because you're not talking to St. John, you're looking up what you already have. So that would be.
If it uses medicine, I think you might be able to use my roll.
No, that's good.
I think he was saying it wasn't going to be presence command.
Oh, I'm going to say it will be.
Doesn't matter. He got a 6.
Oh well, there you go. Never mind. So you got it. So no matter what it was, he got it.
Yep.
So that is a gain of. You made the you made the check by 1 by 2, so you can buy off that complication if you want.
No, I re-rolled those 2 zeros with my determination.
Oh right, so you don't have any at all. So it's actually straight up gain of 2 momentum.
Well, when you tell me the information, I may spend that to learn more things.
Okay. Feel free to role play out the bridge a bit. I have to some information.
And I want to ask real quick. I don't think it does, but I want to double check if psychoanalyst works in this situation.
You'd have to talk to them.
Okay.
Said free bridge roleplay if you want.
Yep. Because I have a bit of typing to do. Actually, we gotta say this loud as well so people know. Zora, you get the information. You are able to get access to the investigation. You effectively have 4 free questions to ask about the file. For Dunnan, what is your medical score? Discipline?
5.
You have 5 free questions. But in general, for the specific information Nadal was looking for, none of the named people have any particular instability or predilection toward recidivism or criminal activity. They're all very upright people. Captain is a bit over adherent to protocol. Tactical guy is a little more loose, but he doesn't break the rules. He defers to the captain. Ops is, as most operations officers are, very adherent to rules. So it doesn't want to. If they break a rule, it's by using another rule that lets them do it.
Oh, what are those nerds?
Yeah. And the engineer doesn't have any particular psychological predilection one way or the other. They're kind of neutral. They do their job, but not with any particular lean one way or the other.
Then first question. How have any of them reacted in the past when they were given a order that was contradictory to standing procedure or protocol.
Oops.
Ooh, I have one.
Mhm.
When the whole Wash and Allen situation in the crawl space.
Oh,
Sorry, I mistyped there. That was from my notes. Actually, I'll just say it this way. What did they do? Generally they say the question again. I'm making sure I'm answering it correctly.
I want to know how they've responded in the past when they've been given an order by a superior that contradicted standing procedure or norms.
The only one who, the one that usually didn't, everyone who leaned toward the regulations would send it up the chain. They'd send a question back to the admiral or to the admiralty staff to double check that it's a legitimate or the background on it. But the security guy usually didn't fight it. If he gets an order and told go do something, he does it, even if it is even if in later consultation he was seen to have disagreed with it, but it's like, as long as it's doing what he wants, he just went right along with it. The rest of the others were a little more, the ops officer and the CO would try to get more information if they could. If they couldn't, they'd follow the orders. Chief of engineering generally try to give technical explanations. Like if there was a technical procedure, they usually jumped about it and try to get a reason. Like, you really don't want to push the engine that hard, you're going to melt it. Why are you doing this? I'm giving you an order. All right, but understand that this is going to melt it. Okay, and then they did it. St. John, and the St. John in general has always had a warlike footing. So the questioning was very brief, very succinct. Not a lot of speeches. It was more of to question an order would be reaffirm order, please, or something to that effect. It'd be a very short one-line question. They wouldn't go into it too much, except for the engineer, who's, like most Starfleet engineers, really likes having a full answer, not a half answer.
And how does each of them feel in general towards subverting the rules or the laws of species or governments outside of the Federation when it's in accordance with orders?
Very Dominion-minded, to put it that. Dominion War era-minded. If it's in the interest of the Federation and Starfleet, they were okay with it. If it wasn't, or it was ambiguous, they adhered to the Starfleet training. They tended toward the alien race's perspective rather than their own. But if it was for the good of the Federation or the good of Starfleet, and it was clear that's why, they'd take their chances and get court-martialed at Narendra if they needed to. And they haven't too often. They haven't gone over the line too often. But there's been an extra punch or two, or an extra phaser shot or two that they didn't need to do, but it got the mission done. So,
do I find that any of them have particularly strong views on any subject that's been noted before?
The captain in particular is huge on militarizing Starfleet in general. They want Starfleet to be a lot less explory, and they want a lot more defiance, a lot more sovereigns, that sort of thing. I'm trying to think of that captain from TNG. I can't remember his name, but very military-minded, very suspicious of people.
The one who built the cloak?
Not him. The guy who suspected the Cardassians. That guy. Mind you, he was on a vengeance kick, but it's very suspicious of, you're not Federation? Well, I'm defending Federation interests. What are you doing here? They're very strong about, we don't have to be diplomat until they start sending a diplomat. If I'm not talking to a diplomat, I'm not diplomatic. I'm ordering you to tell me what I want to know. Other people on the ship, Nothing that jumps out at you. Nothing that's pertinent. Like one guy particularly happens to like soccer better than baseball, but you know, it's nothing that's worth noting.
I think we should role play out the empathic connection that Zora is trying to get with Jolson.
Can we know?
I'm afraid you don't have a say in it.
I have no empathic training. Trolls are like very, very slightly empathic.
Well, then you don't have a choice in the matter.
Well,
if you notice it and you didn't ask for it, then there's a whole slew of regulations and law that the captain broke. Bring that up to somebody.
You still have 2 more questions done in, I believe.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, so it's not an in-depth scan, Jolson. Just a general, are you in a good mood, bad mood? You're hungry, you're thirsty.
I believe it was pertaining to herself. Like, how does...
Yeah, so very surface level thought. Like, oh god, it's the commander. I don't like her. Well, not I don't like her, but you know, just general one-word feeling.
None of them have had any altercations in a similar situation, been accused of a crime before.
Chief of Security has. Chief of Security has. They've been written up a lot. They are actually they've missed their commanding under tests on basis of charges. They're still at lieutenant and they've never been drummed out, but they've always been stuffed. They've never been able to get the commander seat.
Can I look at the reasons for that?
His reasoning is that it's, you know, Federation's just is too slow to act, and he's the first one. He's just doing what the captain's asking him to do. Like, I'm just following orders. But even the captain in his counseling side would usually say things like, I did order him to handle the situation, but I didn't tell him to punch the guy. Like, I don't know why he went that far. I don't know how to get him. I like that he's forthright. I like that he has initiative, but sometimes he seizes the initiative a little too quickly, and that gets him in more trouble than any gain he gets out of it. He's a good officer, but...
Then, before I ask the next question, I'd like to know what their job is in the sector. Like the top level, not like asking what they think about their job, but what their actual job is right now. And then I'll ask the last question based on that.
The first directive of the St. John?
Yes.
Maintenance of security of the fleet. That's their first mission, is if any ship is in any tactical danger, they deal with it. If they see a threat ahead of time, they try to preemptively deal with it, or at least warn the other ships. But that's their primary duty. They're the security officer of the fleet, to put it that way.
And how do they feel about preemptive action when it would prevent military interaction, even if illegal?
They don't like doing illegal preemptive strikes.
Not a preemptive strike, but what I mean is setting up the board in a way that if it does come to blows, they've got the upper hand, even if that means violating some rules beforehand. Basically cheating so that whenever the war starts, they have the upper hand, but not necessarily going around killing people before the war starts. Like covertly setting up surveillance where they aren't really allowed to, or
they do things like that, yeah. Like they try to get that extra little advantage ahead on somebody. They'll trying very hard not to, short of shooting, they love having that extra ambush setup, that extra bit of intel that they didn't have before. And if it means breaking a few rules, well, you know, they'll face the consequences from the Admiral. But for now, this gets them the advantage.
Yeah, then I will take all I've learned, condense it, and schedule a meeting with the captain and the XO.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the XO's list of problems.
What if being the science officer?
I'm going through her questions for the case. She has her questions about you, but you answered them, so hooray! Yeah, because it's passive. She's not like mind melding with you and seeing your inner secrets. I don't think.
I mean, do you want to find my porn stash? Because you will find my porn stash.
Let's see.
Remind
What? The charges law is broken, Mikara. Zora is the specifically the charge is smuggling. Smuggling of restricted and forbidden material is the specific violation. Because the Federation does not have any sort of restricted they have a pending research treaty, not a trade treaty. So they don't have any the most they're allowed to trade with any Federation person is allowed to trade with is like basic stuff, food stuff, clothes, medical stuff, and not even strong stuff, like just basic medical supplies. So the fact that even if they were, and on top of that, like trading in restricted goods, but it's also possession as part of that possession of restricted goods, restricted forbidden goods. And as for who is being implicated in the charges, specifically the Captain Hamaker, because they, as far as the Kalian military is concerned, they follow a similar line of thought that Starfleet does. Responsibility of crew actions goes to the captain. So they're blaming. So even if it's someone in the crew that did it, they blame the captain for the actions of their crew. What evidence was found, if any? According to the Kalian military file, it was shown that the St. John had some personnel that went to the military base as part of their as part of the ongoing research treaty. They were trying to exchange security data, like making sure what laws are we supposed to do when we have a ship? Are we allowed to use photons? Are there any special rules? And then telling them this is what Federation does. During that time, the St. John supposedly beamed some of their some military ordnance, is all it says on the file, and then at a later time at the nearby Freeport, those goods were found again. And who on the Kalian forces is implicating is specifically base commander Shiz Lizamar Sekar. He's the commanding officer of the KL military base on Azar 7. And timetable on proceedings. Oh, sorry, go on.
Can you please type that out in Discord, the name?
Name? Oh, sure. And actually, thank you, $2. Benjamin Maxwell of the USS Phoenix was who I was looking for earlier. He's the guy who sang with O'Brien, as I recall. Wait, what? No, that's not right. Sorry, that's not the right name.
Is that El Bed or something?
Shh. No. Oh, I was about to go to the captain next too.
Yeah, sorry. I got called away.
No, it's okay. I'm just messing with you. Do you need to spend a minute? Would like to know timetable on proceedings. You don't have to spend for that. It's kind of fuzzy right now because they've kind of allowed for the Federation to handle their own officer. So they're kind of waiting to see if Starfleet's going to punish them to a way they like, or if they're just going to be turned over to their authority. But sooner than later is their preference. The longer this takes, the more this becomes difficult to deal with them.
I would like to spend a momentum on if there was any indication that others on the military base, because you said the weapons were being there and then supposedly found again later at a different port, which means they had insight on if there was a military investigation at the base.
What momentum? There was.
Is there indication of the results of that in the report or not?
Yeah, there's logs of the material being stored in a particular cargo room, and then subsequently it was checked again, and it was found missing. Later on, they checked sensor logs to see where did it go, who moved it, is it moved somewhere else on the planet maybe? But they found that there was transport residue, residue, for lack of a better way to put it, signs of it, if you will. And they checked the timestamp, and it lined up with when the St. John was there, and it didn't match any technology that they used. So that's when they started timing it. And then they started timing out, were there any officers here? Did we see any communications? They didn't hear any communications from the St. John to the surface or vice versa from that room, but there was enough evidence on their end that they believed that there was enough Starfleet officers on the ground talking back and forth with their ship that at some point there must have been some sort of communication or signal, or someone on the ship just decided to beam it up. At that point, that's when they started asking questions and getting more accusatory of the ship. The chief of security for the St. John tried to put it down, tried to ease their concerns, but eventually they said, if we're charging your ship, and we expect you to turn yourself in. And that's when the captain gave the formal response of, I'm putting this up to my superiors. I want to see what their instructions are. And currently the case is pending alien visitors' response. But for the time being, they're currently they're considered in custody because they're not allowed to leave the planet's orbit. If they leave orbit, they're going to be fired upon.
I would like to get the transport logs from the St. John.
They don't seem to be in the computer on the Tenjin.
As in, like, I like the St. John to send over their transporter logs during these timestamps.
Give me, I will say... Oh, no, I won't even make a roll for it. You're able to get the logs. It takes a bit of... You've had several days, so eventually you'd get them. So you're able to get access to the St. John's log.
I would like to go through those logs and see if anything doesn't match up. Like, if there was an extra transport that the St. John actually did transport these supplies down to, essentially.
Reason security, difficulty 2.
Investigation for a focus?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Assisted by ship's computer security. Actually, sorry, I take that back. Computers engineering.
Take 2 threat.
Okay. It's a very profitable investigation for me, I must say. That's 4 momentum gain. As far as the logs are concerned, there's a complication. I'm badging you're buying that off.
Yes, I'm only getting 2 momentum.
Okay. And you, as far as the logs are concerned, they beam people up a lot, and even check to make or deleted in the logs. And short of them physically taking out isolinear chips from the ship or something, no, it looks like the only thing they had, there was a certain assigned area that they beamed people in and up on, and that's where the transporter only beamed. They beamed on a particular part of the military base, and that's it. They beamed up people mainly. Once or twice they beamed small bits of equipment, and being up small bits of equipment. Log usually something along the lines of like container case or demo case. Like it wasn't actual weaponry. It was usually stuff like, this is what our weapons look like. But as far as the transporter logs are concerned, you check, there was no power. Like you couldn't shoot anybody with these things. And the ship did the same thing. It's like, here's what our phasers looks like, but again, they're not operable. They're just hunks of metal. You could hit somebody with it, I guess, if you feel particularly inclined, but you know, you're not winning a phaser fight with those.
I would like to spend that 2 momentum to create the advantage that, based on the transporter logs, that there was no way that the St. John could have beamed those supplies down, including the records, as well as what the material components were inside the crates that were actually beamed. And I also like to have the transporter signature, the St. John typically that uses in that report, so that for cross-reference with the the Curlians found.
And that's 2 momentum spent.
I will pass that along to the captain.
All right, Captain. During those, is there anything else anyone else is going to do during the 3 days before I move to the next scene?
I did mention I was gonna do that recommended Hollow Suite time.
I'll actually give you a. What kind of Hollow program are you taking up?
Indiana Jones ripoff. Yeah, I'm doing like a small Hollow novel, adventure, mystery, a archaeology, adventure thing.
Give me fitness security or fitness science difficulty 1.
Oh boy, I'm gonna pull a muscle. Fitness security or fitness what else?
Science.
No
Yeah, you're
complications.
you're able to relax and ease up a little bit and do a lot more. You do a lot less of the cracking of the whip and shooting of guns bit, and a lot more of the puzzly bit was fun, and you're able to kind of have a nice fun time in general. No momentum gain, but hey, you had a good time at least.
Okay.
Garrix or Wash, anything from you two?
Just that sensor diagnostic that I promised Jolson.
Give me a reason engineering roll. Difficulty 1.
Okay, I do not think I have any relevant focuses, so let's just give that a go.
And I'll be nice guy GM for the moment. You can benefit from your engineering team if you want to invoke them, because you have them as an advantage because of your post on the ship.
That's a once per session thing, though, right?
No, it's an advantage that you just have as long as you're aboard ship.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. What does that mean for dice-wise?
So generally what you can do with it is you can, like any advantage, you can reduce the difficulty of a thing, you can reduce the complication of a thing. In certain cases, it makes something possible. So say you needed to build a really big thing quickly, and instead of doing it by yourself, you say, well, I get my engineering team to help me. It's like, oh, okay. So now you can actually get it done within 2 days rather than 2 months, you know?
Okay, yeah, a level 2 diagnostic isn't that time. That's within the time frame of our travel time, I believe. Am I correct?
You can do a level 2 inside a few days, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll do level 2 diagnostic, and I'll just reduce the complication range on that. Not the complication range. I'll reduce the difficulty.
Okay, so it's down to 0. So, give me. That's 2 momentum gained. Sensors seem fine. There is a few fixes you guys have to do. Some of the configuration on some consoles are still on the old advanced suite sensor suite configuration, but that's just a minor GUI thing. It's let's just program it for the current setting. There, it's
Fair
easily
enough.
fixed.
All right, should be operating within spec now.
And that's 2 momentum gain there, Zora, since you left. Wash, anything you're doing for the next 3 days? Actually, he might be away. I just realized.
He's cooking.
Yep. Okay. So we will move forward. Lose one momentum. You don't have any, so don't. Actually, you do lose one. You're right because you had two. So 3 days later, you guys warp into the Izar system, approaching Izar 7. St. John is in orbit. Elsewhere on sensor, you detect a Federation signal, a Ferengi signal, and what appears to be some sort of space station at extreme range at the outer edges of the system, but well within your sensor range.
Oh boy, the Ferengi. This could be fun. All right. Are we able to hail the where we're at?
It's actually at this time where Zora and the counselor show up in your ready room with reports.
Oh, hooray.
In my understanding, unless you guys want to flavor it further, I imagine you were basically just reiterating what you've learned. Or not.
I mean, yeah, I would have to flavor it because I have a particular interpretation of what I learned.
Feel free. It's your report.
I feel like there should be some kind of psychic feedback for all the psychics in the room, but that's just me.
Everyone just tastes lemon for a bit.
We can both feel each other's general attitude, but if you do anything more than that, it would seem very uncouth and...
Three of us.
Oh, she's not human?
She's empathic. That's all I know.
Some humans do have the Esper quality. It's rare, but it can happen.
That's in like one TOS episode. Did someone dig that up?
Maybe, maybe not. You should look into her file, see what happens.
That's a trippy episode, though.
It is. I love it. Anyway, your report. Unless someone wants to feel out each other's emotions.
No feeling in here right now. I'll hand over the pad and Captain, my report makes it quite clear that the officers aboard the ship were entirely capable of committing this crime in the right circumstance and might have even seen it as their duty. So at this time, I would suggest being very careful in your defense.
Okay. And for your report, Commander?
Well, my report kind of contradicts what the counselor found.
I'll clarify. Well, let you say what you were going to say before I clarify.
According to the transporter logs of the St. John, an all indication of any ill tampering was not found, but they did not beam the supplies that the Kallians said they did. The only thing that they found in their investigation, the Kallians did, is the transporter signal was not of one that they typically use. If we can get a hold of what that signature is, and potentially cross-reference it to other known species within the area, both Federation and not alike, we could perhaps find the actual culprit.
So we need logs or the St. John's, because
we have the St. John's. We have the St. John's, and there is no indication that the St. John beam those supplies down to the surface of the planet.
Okay, so
And-
we need the Kalians transporter logs or sensor logs.
Essentially, yes.
I'll clarify what I said in light of what the XO found. I'm not saying that they are guilty or that they did commit the crime, only that they're capable of under the right circumstances. If the evidence supports their innocence, then it does. I did not find any evidence that they were guilty, only that they were capable.
It's good to know that they're capable. And
No, you misunderstand me. Capable of committing the crime, Captain. They're capable of committing the crime. I do not have any evidence to suggest that they did.
evidence has so far proven that they haven't. That's what counts. Well, I guess I will negotiate with some Kalians to get those sensor logs. Hope that they.
If this proceeds to trial, Captain, I would suggest that you order the XO to take command, on the Admiral's authority, of course, of the St. John. It would be improper for them to be on trial, all of the senior staff to be on trial and in command of a ship with a warp engine and weapons. While they might not, I'm sure they wouldn't do anything, it still would seem proper to cover our bases and have the XO govern the ship while they're on trial.
I will take that under advisement, Counselor. She kind of looks at those pads that she has now and goes, "Hey, well, you were both dismissed." And she actually gets up to leave, and well, when they go to leave, and we'll walk out with them.
I'm gonna walk over to Jolson.
Hi.
Did you get a chance to go to the holodeck, Commander?
I did actually. Surprisingly, I think it was helpful. So, thank you for the suggestion.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
it's
while
worked
they're
out for you.
talking, I'm going to order us to get closer to the planet. We'll have them hail the planet as well. An incident.
I'm going to.
Someone is breathing rather heavily.
Do you wish to activate one of the supporting characters for the hailed role? Otherwise, it is a control engineering test, difficulty 0. Just more a matter of generating momentum.
Garrix is sitting right there.
Yeah, Garrix is in engineering. Or in the engineering spot, so why not?
Just give the order.
The order, yes. Would hail the planet. We don't want to cause an incident showing up in a.
Hi, Captain. What was the role again?
That would be control engineering, difficulty 0, assisted by communications engineering.
Oh, poo. Okay,
Never mind about the ship.
Oh, I really
So
want to
it's-
make a determination on that, but I don't think there's anything worth. I don't have a value here, so I can't.
Well, we can't. Oops. Oh,
So
you can
in-
use the mission directive.
That's true. I can do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Just because that's there's no reason. Well, it was definitely 0, but yeah, there are complications. Bad. Okay, sure, whatever, fine.
Which directive?
Let
'Cause
me
I have a
look
list.
at those real quick. Yes, they were pinned.
Diplomatic incident with these people?
To aid any ship in the 10th R&D Ox fleet that is in distress or requires reinforcement.
Well, there's that too.
The actual directive, you mean? But
You
yes,
get-
that would apply.
Okay, I'll re-roll then.
2 complications. Aw.
Okay. And it was communications engineering for the ship?
Correct?
Okay, that's still 2 momentum.
2 momentum gained. This is Kale Military Base, USS Tenjin, responding on behalf of... Please state your purpose.
We have come to... how to word this? Yeah, that's me as a player saying I'm wondering how to word this. We have come to be aid and assist in the investigation with the St. John. That would be how I would do it correctly. Probably not.
Who is it I'm speaking with?
Captain Mira Nadal of the USS Tenjin.
Stand by, Tenjin, do not approach. And their end goes on, mutes.
Well, that was pleasant.
Short, to the point.
Like some old boyfriends I used to have. And yes, the captain does say that, but slightly lower so that maybe not all the junior staff would hear.
Exactly who on the junior staff did hear then?
Sounds like my first date with my second wife, Gisela.
Projecting a little, are
Oops,
we?
wrong button. Wrong button. Gurix, the ship is being hailed.
Putting it, receiving a hail, Captain. Shall I put it through?
On screen.
Boop.
Give me, once again, control engineering, assisted by communications engineering. It's not from the same source you were just talking to. Three momentum.
I don't know why it said null system. I had that highlighted, but whatever.
Hello, this is Trace Station Atoser. Is there any way we can assist you in any of your duties or missions today? We have plenty of weapons and medical supplies if you need them. If you require maintenance outside of the Imperial Majesty's domain, we can also assist with that as well. We also have great gambling facilities for people of all ages to enjoy. These include a water park where you can have and it just goes on and on like it's an ad. It's an ad hail.
She kind of Commander, trace that signal.
Aye, Captain. Tracing signal.
According to sensor, it'd be on K7 of the grid. So further down.
All right, it's past the sector K7. It looks like beyond our short range sensor range.
All right. Log that away. We may need to speak with them.
Will do.
Are we receiving pop-up ads?
Yeah. Yeah. Thought we had installed the ad blocker, but apparently not.
You did. It's
11
called
Was it a
communications
Ferengi?
officer.
My question is, was it a Ferengi that was on the screen?
There is a Ferengi signal and a Federation signal that is docked with the ship, with the station.
But was the hail audio only or was there visual?
It was audio only.
Okay.
I am curious, Captain. They said weapons. And they are traitors.
Yeah. Well, we have been ordered not to move by the planet, so if you would put together an away team and take a shuttle out there, speak to the proprietor of the space station.
Sounds prudent.
Very well. I will leave its makeup to you.
Lieutenant Wash and Lieutenant Commander Jolson, you're with me.
Aye, Commander.
Whoa.
He's
sorry.
not here, but he agrees.
Gosh. And Jolson. And of course, Zora herself.
Oh, Captain, I would recommend putting Kirix on that transporter signal.
Right. Well,
believe
I
the
have to get the
counselor could
sensors log
just-
first.
I believe the counselor could be more than helpful in the proceedings to come. Seems knowledgeable.
It's not a bit nosy, but other than that,
Am I
yes,
standing there?
counselors are like that.
Yeah, you're on the bridge.
She's talking out in the open. She doesn't care. She's also kind of like pulling your leg, seeing how much she thinks that you're willing to take before saying something.
As far as you are concerned right now, nothing is.
Alright. Alright, well, good luck, Commander. May the dice roll in your favor. She just kind of smirks.
I have no intention of gambling during my on-duty shift, Captain.
Go ahead and use one of the shuttles. She just...
So my understanding is the away team is Commander Zora, Lieutenant Junior Watch, and Lieutenant Commander Jolson.
Yep.
Are you bringing along any gear with this away team? Beyond your standard equipment, of course.
It's up to the commander. It's her away team.
Tricorder.
Why don't we come back to that?
She needs time to think.
Okay.
I need to go through the equipment list. Need to do.
Okay. So those three head down to the shuttle bay to take up the select amount of shuttles. Meanwhile, Tenjin has not hailed again.
She kind of looks at the counselor and goes, "So, how much longer do we wait before we warn the girlfriend and acknowledge we've been ignored?"
I would advise you not to escalate the situation.
3 more hours it is then.
And well, I'll shrink that down. Dang it, every time.
Based on what that shuttle's doing on the screen, y'all are all dead.
Right?
Oh no, not both of them. Shoot. There.
She does eventually. John, probably about an hour and a half into their wait.
She what? Sorry.
She has Garrick's hail the St. John.
Hi, Captain.
John,
No
this
response.
is oh,
No response.
Oh damn.
No response.
No response from the St. John?
Or are you hailing the planet?
No, the St. John.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they St. John receives the hail and acknowledges that they hear you. Channel open, to put it that way.
This is the. See, you may need some assistance.
This is Captain Hamaker. Hello, Captain. How are you? Enjoying doing the easy work?
Well, when you can, and she just kind of bites her tongue because she doesn't want to spar with this guy. She thinks better of it and goes, well, somebody's got to do the paperwork when you screw up.
Hey, better you than me.
Huh?
So, you getting me out of here or what?
Well, we're trying. If the planet would get back to us. However,
Oh no, you got to bug them. You want to keep going. They like playing this whole make you wait thing.
Huh.
If they haven't let you approach, I'd hail them again if I were you. But otherwise, we're fine. They haven't hurt us. They just told us not to move from orbit, so we're not moving from orbit. Don't exactly want to get into a shootout with these guys.
That's understandable. We can do to get you out of this mess. Tenjin out. And then she has she hails the planet again.
Garrett, you get
Evan.
no response.
No response, Captain.
You know what? Oh, go ahead, counselor.
I advise patience, Captain. They will use, based on the profile that we've been given of them. Was I privy to the militaristic profile?
That has not been. That was only shared from Zora to the captain currently.
Okay.
There hasn't
then
been a full briefing yet.
Then I'll say, based on their actions towards the St. John at this point, it is very unwise for you to take any action that would escalate the situation.
It does seem that our hails are going through. They're just choosing not to respond. So that would indicate a deliberate action on their part.
Yeah. Eric's counselor. would in my ready room.
Of course, Captain.
We're just sitting here at the moment, so she's gonna go in, and then she is going to laying the bulliness of these people.
So you share Zora's file with them, essentially? Or what she reported to you?
Seeing this, Captain, I'm going to double my efforts to advise you not to escalate this at all, because they don't actually need you to violate any rules. As long as you appear to violate rules or act in a way they don't find in accordance, they may escalate the situation into conflict.
It does seem prudent to follow their norms for the time being, unless we feel there's an imminent danger.
The only problem I have with this gentleman is the fact that more hours, but to duration captain's patience.
Well, do you feel that the Fredericton is in any danger? Or St. John, I'm sorry.
A reason for being here, for a reason, they're not allowed to leave the orbit of the planet, which for the R&D fleet is unacceptable because they're needed for patrol. As far as I can tell, in imminent danger, however, they are needed elsewhere.
The Starfleet's desire for peaceful relations supersedes any of the needs of the 10th Fleet.
That is true.
I'm afraid in this situation I do have to agree with the counselor. It seems prudent to play in their court, I believe is the Earth phrase.
We'll give it a few more hours. Hail them again. If that doesn't work, then plan C or B or all of them.
Understood. I will keep... sorry.
If you do decide to speak their language in an attempt to get them to communicate with us, and I'm purposefully trying to convey emotion when I say speak their language. I don't physically mean their actual tongue. If you try to speak their language to convince them to speed up the process, I would like to be consulted before you do. You might have a hard time convincing someone if you were doing the right thing, and I can help. I can be on your side if anyone asks questions, so long as you consult me first.
All right, gentlemen, just back to your posts. And
there is one unorthodox avenue we haven't considered. We did receive the, I believe Mr. Jolson called it a quote-unquote pop-up. If we can start a dialogue there, we might be able to gain some more insight into how things work on this planet.
I already have the commander taking care of that.
Very well.
She will stand up as if she's going to leave, expecting them to follow. And she goes and sits back in her chair.
All right, I'll head back to my station.
I'll meander.
Yeah, because this time there really is no other seat other than the captain's seat. by all means, you can go to the away team if you want, because that's pretty much it. She is waiting.
Okay. Away team. You're bringing along the emergency transponder and a holographic imager?
Unless the other two can think of something else.
I heard climbing gear was suggested. But no.
Don't think.
Do we? I don't think in personal armor would be prudent, and that might escalate things.
This is a trader's outpost and gambling casino, from what it sounds like. So we probably want to be as inconspicuous as possible. So maybe.
Do we want to go in civilian clothes?
Sure, let's do that. That'd be probably an advantage, though.
I would say it is, yeah.
Alright, well, we're spending
Alright.
momentum for that.
Let's go in civvies.
So that's, I believe, all 4 right there. Advantage plus
Yep.
the transponder and the imager. Because I think the imager and the transponder are 1 each.
Yep. Unless we had time for this, then we could technically waive the opportunity cost. But that is entirely up to you. We
If you're willing to wait until the Tenjin gets a response back, you can save it.
oh no.
You're waiting like 3 hours. So then you'll have tons of time, but if you're trying to get there a little quicker ahead of before this continues, as it were. Not escalate. Escalate seems a strong word. Before it progresses.
Timing seems like it's everything right now, so.
Alright, so is there anything else the away team's grabbing before they leave? Aside from their standard gear. And Jolson, your tricorder is anything that's in your standard gear is stuff that you are assumed to usually have on you unless you specifically say, unless you guys said we leave our phasers. Actually, that's a question. For your phasers, what are you bringing to be armed? Because tape 2s are something you can't really hide in a pocket. You have to put them in a bag or something because they're big. Unless you're just bringing your type 1s, then you can tuck those in like a fold of clothing.
I would say probably type 1s.
Yeah, I'll probably have a type 1.
And Wash wants to bring along a type 3. No. For some
Screw
reason,
that,
it's
type
auto-
7.
Type 7. That's it. Sorry.
No stun grenades.
All right. So the shuttle launches. Which shuttle are you taking? Just for my own bookkeeping.
I actually haven't looked at the stats on the shuttles.
They're all the
They're all
same.
the
It's just
same.
different names. They're Type 9s. So the newer shuttle type.
Well, Commander, it's your mission.
Let's just take the Ellison. Ellison Onizaku. Ozaka.
You guys prepare to launch away?
Yep.
I'm
Lieutenant
prepared.
Wash. Set a course for that outpost.
Tenjin Bridge, you are alerted to the Ellison disembark.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank the GM for giving us a whole bunch of Japanese to butcher.
Everyone have your seat belts fastened. Please put your seat trays in their upright position.
Are you just going to impulse over, or are you going to try to...
Well, if it doesn't take more than like 2 hours, they won't give you the complimentary peanuts.
Is there a smoking section?
Not since the 70s.
No.
Oh, yeah, I was playing in the 1930s.
Oh, an ashtray in every seat.
Yep.
What speed, Captain? Or wait,
You mean
is the captain
commander?
on ship and is the commander?
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
the
the captain
commander.
was with us. Okay. Sorry.
Nope, I'm letting the
It's,
commander do her job.
Best speed, Lieutenant.
Engaged. Tenjin, we're headed out. Disembarking.
Yep. You get the all clear. And
I'm gonna ask for a con, and since he's away from the control, if someone could roll for him. But it's going to be a
Yes, please.
daring con, difficulty 1. And it would use up power, but another scene's going to come up before anything relevant comes up, so won't worry about it.
Yeah, the
It's
only
just the
thing
scene.
is just always spin the one threat so that we can get the one reroll for my bold. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
So one
take
threat?
a threat.
Okay.
And small craft for a focus.
Oh, yeah. And assisted by a ship's engine's con, I believe it is. Okay, so you get yourself, you generate 3 momentum, warping over to the station.
Open hailing frequencies.
They seem to be hailing you.
Audio only?
You can pull up on screen if you want.
Sure.
On the screen's appearance seems to be a gentleman in bright blue robes with red sparkling trim along every seam and like where the shoulder joins with the main body and stuff like that. He has short hair. It seems to be styled in a way that is fairly spiked. He seems to have some sort of tattoo across his forehead and a big old grin when you show up. Hello, welcome to my station. How can I help you?
We like to enjoy what you have to offer. I think a little gambling and some fun is in order. It's a long journey and could use a place to stretch our legs.
I see. Do you have any goods you want to bring aboard my station? Or are you just bringing your beautiful self?
We're just bringing our beautiful selves, good sir. She smiles.
All right. You can go to lower landing pad left 24. Enjoy your stay.
We will, thank you.
Was the commander flirting?
And
No,
the
that would
station
just be deceptive.
and the station gives instructions to the shuttle to and they signal that they can they can use tractors to pull you in the rest of the way. You just have to get in their target zone to pull you the rest of the way.
Bring us in, Lieutenant Wash.
Absolutely.
Note to
How
self,
dare
if you have to run, we have to disable the tractor beams first.
I'll put you guys over here.
Right? We know exactly where it's located.
Let's hope it not come to that. And from here on out, no rank.
Yes, Commander.
Oh, and I'll mark that you guys are in disguise for my benefit.
I think that's technically insubordination.
As in, don't declare your rank and open.
Well, I mean, since we were given a direct order for us, not.
Oh, I was commenting on the fact that y'all both replied, yes, Commander.
Oh, that's true. Hey, we have our one moment before we get off this ship.
What is our cover or story? I mean, we are obviously coming from a Federation ship.
Shore leave.
Good places of any.
But we are gonna do a little bit of investigation of our own. So try to blend in.
As you guys step onto the station, the walls are gleaming ruby red with twinkles of yellow lighting indicating various comm panels. When your feet hit the ground, there's a nice metallic clang, but it seems to be tuned to. It's almost like they tuned the floor so that way when your feet make that sound, it isn't like it's not a industrial clang. It seems more almost musical as you move. It's not loud or deafening, but it's enough that you'd notice it. Like it's obvious you're hearing it. It also means that anyone who it's kind of hard. It seems like that would make it hard for anyone to sneak around aboard the ship as well. Aboard the station, I should say.
I wonder if the red ad has a significant cultural significance to these people, because I noticed that at the man we talked to also had red eyes on his uniform, his outfit.
Potentially.
As you go further into the station, it's this thing would be comparable to the size of almost as big as I would say. Imagine 6 saucer sections of a Galaxy class starship all joined together with various docking arms for larger ships. Lots of people milling around. A lot of them seem to be of the Kalian people. So you see a head tattoo, bright hair colors, some either incredibly short when you see anyone who looks militaristic in uniform. But those who aren't militaristic, they seem to be traders or civilians of any kind. Their hair is much longer, about to their shoulders, if not to the middle of their backs. You do see that there are a few other species. There is the odd Klingon you might see here or there. The odd Romulan here or there. A few humans and other Federation species, but they're like all those, shall we say, core species are the vast minority. This is a Kalian trade station for the most part, which makes sense. You guys are fairly deep into the Shackleton right now, so and this is not Federation claimed territory.
Are any of the core species any people in military uniforms, or are they all civilians?
The Klingons are, but then again, when aren't they? The
Point.
Romulans are not. They seem to be in more civvy clothes.
Any known reports of a Klingon vessel in the area that we would have been made aware of?
You can give me Insight Con or Insight Security, difficult too, to try to remember if that's a thing you heard about.
Sure.
The Klingon Gawk seller on Deep Space Nine is the only guy I can remember with common clothes.
He has a franchise. What are you talking about?
Right?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yeah, this is not going to go well for me.
I'll note you don't have to do the... Oh, you already did. Hey, you got it. You're asking if any Klingon ships have been out in this area?
Yeah, just like any reports of, hey, the IKS is in the area. Wondering if these Klingons might be from that vessel.
Nothing big. There was reports of a Klingon freighter, and that passed through the 10th Expeditionary's patrol area, so it would make sense that they might have gone this deep out. They might have bypassed the entirety of the Federation and came here. Some freighters have been going back and forth past the Federation claimed area into the Expanse. But,
obviously no trade route, nothing too out of the way for them.
Not so much a known trade route. This is very aggressive. This is merchants aggressively exploring. The Klingons haven't been exploring in this region. And actually with that role, I'll actually give you for free that the 10th research your fleet the 10th Research Auxiliary, has kind of claimed this area, has kind of warned other species to stay out of here. So they've told Klingon warships and Romulan warships, please don't. We're doing experiments. Please stay out of here.
Okay.
Which, you know.
Is it possible to spend 2 minutes for the advantage that we know what the weapon signature was from the reports that the Kalelians gave us?
Yeah, I'll take 2 momentum for that. You know what kind of weapons were being transmitted, were being traded, or alleged to have been traded. Specifically, it was crates of. I have it in my file here. There it is. Stun guns and telepsychic helmets.
Oh my. Are the Kalians known to have psychic abilities? Telepathy, empathy, any telekinesis?
You can give me insight medicine difficulty 4. There might have been a report from the Fredericton about it, but it wasn't one of the first things. It wasn't something you looked up ahead of time. Or you can spend 2 momentum and have that. That's something you might have picked up during your during your way here.
Yeah, I'm not sure, or if, I'm not gonna make that roll at all, and I'm not sure, or if the 2 momentum's worth it.
If you're in communication range, you could maybe ask me.
Oh, I see 2 momentum got spent.
Yeah, that was for the crates.
No? Oh, I saw him pulled out, so I was like, huh? So you're not. Are you going to roll or spend, or are you going to leave the question lying?
We'll just leave the question lying. I'm sure we'll find out the hard way.
Okay.
How armed are the civilians? And I'm assuming like just small sidearms.
All the core species are disarmed. If they have something tucked away, you'd have to kind of stare at them for a bit to get a good, like if they're doing what you're doing and tucking away a Type 1 equivalent or a knife. But even the Klingons are disarmed, except for the knife. That seems to be on them.
Which, try talking a Klingon out of his knife.
Yeah, they got the disruptors off them. That's an achievement. As for the Kalians, they're all armed. Every one of them has a sidearm of Type 2. Station security has. They have Type 2s, but they seem to be a weird shape that doesn't match up with what all the civilians are wearing. And security is marked, especially because they have some sort of what looks to be a long or heavy blade on their hip. Looks almost like one might say a saber or a foil. But that's just a guess by the shape of the sheath and stuff like that. You've never seen any of them draw, but it's obvious they're wearing blades on their hips. And they're being given a little extra space because of that.
Yeah, but in general, this is a promenade?
Yeah, I think promenade. There's lots of decks. There's like a directory. No one's really giving you a side glance much, aside from other Federation species. Like, oh, hey, someone who's from part of space is here. And then they stop caring and go doing whatever they're doing.
Yep.
And since I was cooking, this is a gather info kind of moment. Is that what?
Yep, we're gathering info and we're trying to chase down the lead of the person who's selling weapons.
I might have an interesting idea. Not saying that the person specifically would be a pilot, but a lot of times the pilot's involved and they brag sometimes here and there when you get into competition. And so there might be flight simulators here. And through a little bit of winning, might be able to gain some info with the flight folks.
How much local currency do we have for discretionary spending?
Oh, forgot about that. Never mind. That's true.
I will say, as ranking officers
of
of the fleet, you guys have like senior officers, especially at the Admiral's flagship. You have a rather significant credit expense account. It's just that you are spending Federation credits, like that being known to these people. That's what you're using.
Yeah, I forgot about the betting part of it, so I'll hold off on that unless we really need to then, because that's
It is an option in Wash. I yeah.
oh
Some-
yeah, very true. It's just if I go in there trying to beat these people out, I got to bring the money to got to have the money to bring it, which might be more than what we're expecting too. So yeah, that should be it's good, but the last burner, last option type thing maybe.
Well, where do we want to check out first?
Let's
Any
find a
particular-
local bar. At least, because some traders usually like to brag.
Cream
Bars-
See if we
soda.
can.
Bars are a good place to go.
See if we can't catch wind of a trader that might be bragging on their current exploits.
So the three of you head to. There are several at the station, but there seems to be one that's advertised a lot. So I imagine that's the one you go to. Or are you trying to go to a hole in the wall near the engine deck sort of bar?
No, let's go to the.
Let's go to the main bar and kind of work our way down.
When the three of you walk into the Atoser Casino and Bar, it is much louder. Let me just fix that for you. Yes, it's much louder. There's a lot more people here.
Dabo. Yeah.
There seem to be various people
Try
playing
that.
card games, dice games. There actually seems to be a Dabo table, but it's like the one Dabo table there with a very bored-looking Ferengi wondering why no one's playing their game, except for a couple, like a Klingon and like a Bolian. But most of the Kalians have no interest in the game. The bar is very busy. Lots of people milling around. There's like three floors. You see what looks to be some sort of one-armed robber casino slot machine type system. There's like a whole deck of those. You see another part of the room there. Further back, there seems to be dining tables and people chatting away. Very successful looking place. No one even gives you guys a second glance when you guys walk in.
Who's banning the bar?
It looks to be a Killian woman. She has a bright yellow hair. She's very quickly moving around and taking orders.
What's her outfit look like in relation to the man who hailed us before?
Her outfit is a lot more. It's like she's dressed for summer, but she's indoors. If you get what I mean. But she does have a long, like I think tank top and like pants, like very minimal. But she has, but not skimpy. I wouldn't go that far. She just seems to be worried about working up a sweat, as it were, because she's running around behind the bar all the time. But she has the red frills along her, like red lining along her clothing. And you notice, actually, I'll give you an insight plus security or insight science to difficulty 2 to draw a conclusion, because I think I know where you're going.
I'm gonna do insight science. I'm kind of picking up something. Da. No, I said science. Let me try again.
It still wouldn't matter with the roll.
Yeah, I'll take, because we can see the what dice roll there. It just doesn't tell us the result. But
Okay.
yeah, with the roll, it's hard to tell. You need more time or more information, or you can try to re-roll through determination.
It's not quite I worthy of burning a determination quite yet.
And actually, I'm going to look something up for you. Hold on. I think I'm about to do something to you. Jolson.
Yes.
I'm willing to have you succeed at cost. But here's the price. Either I get 2 threat, and you someone kind of lets something slip and you're able to hear something. Like you get a little closer to overhear something, but it's obvious you're gathering, you're observing people. Or I can negatively invoke your value of I don't believe in the unknowable, just the undiscovered, and you're just gonna, and that will invoke you just walking right up to her and asking her point blank what the things are about. Just out of that sheer, I want to know and it's bugging me and I don't know.
You know what? Let's negatively invoke the value.
Okay. So without a word, Jolson just kind of and just walks straight up to the bar.
Oh, a Jolson maneuver.
Why, hello, handsome. How are you? What do you want to drink? Oh, the frills? These things? Oh, I mean, just means I work here, that's all.
I'm just noticing a lot of red evoked on here. I was wondering if it had any particular cultural interest.
Well, I mean, it's sort of our way of signaling that we're... Oh, you're not one of us. She taps her forehead. Oh, sorry. I kind of thought the dots. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, no. Here, let me get you something. She pours what looks to be some sort of fluorescent orange drink and puts it in front of you. Well, the short story is that it is basically a way of saying that we are merchants of the merchant cast of people. But, you know, it's also a way of saying we're independent. You know, we're kind of our own thing. We're not part of any particular house. We're just in it for the money. Yeah. She shrugs.
So, you guys have a particular caste system. And what are some of the other castes that are about?
You're going to have to give me a presence science or presence command.
I'll do presence science.
I'll make it difficulty 1. She's already friendly with you.
Okay. There is.
Well, why don't you tell me if you tell me your name? I mean, I know nothing about you.
True. Out of character, or have you been given permission to use our real names, or are we using cover?
You were told to just to drop rank. That was the last instruction you got.
Okay. Paul Bear Jolson.
Oh, that sounds like a very good name. Strong name. She kind of touches your hand a bit. So...
My hands are noticeably cold.
Cold-hearted, I see. Interesting.
Kind of comes with the business.
I'm sure it does. So, what was your question again? I kind of got lost in your eyes a little.
I was wondering if there's any other casts that were on the station and general rules of conduct of approaching them. Merchants are very, very open-minded and stuff, but some of the other castes from other cultures I've come across have been less receptive to outsiders.
Well, I mean, we forgive you. It's fine. I mean, and I forgive you. The House of Red is always plenty friendly with anyone who comes by our way. As for the other houses, well, the noble class, unless you own your own starship, it's not really... They really don't want to talk to you. And if you're of the military caste, unless you have a reason to talk with the authorities, you have no reason to talk to them, and I wouldn't suggest getting their attention unless you want to spend the next week asking a lot of difficult questions about your spots. And, I mean, and then there's the other caste, but it's not, you know, have a drink, you know.
Well,
Very good.
if you have any questions about my spots, I'm sure we can connect something together.
Oh, I'm sure. And what are Zora and Wash doing as she chatting with Joel?
I mean, part of me says I'm listening to this whole conversation because, like, popcorn, but I don't know. I think I'm still just walking and checking everything out, fielding the area to see what we might get into, just in the sense of this information gathering. But this is a big place, so.
Okay. What about you, Zora?
So I'm going to use my intelligence officer to create an advantage. The specialty we get. That there's a known traitor that kind of Zora knows that may or may not be here. And she's going to have to find him.
You're looking for a trader who what, sorry?
A traitor that works in the area.
Yeah, I'll take that. Which affiliation? Federation, Ferengi, or Kalian?
Federation.
Funny enough, you're aware of somebody who's already here. Who's even docked here, in fact. The
I will
SS
attempt to find
Amox
them.
Clipper, Bernice Cully. And so you go seeking him out. You're watching what he's doing. Which I'll put you over here to indicate that's where you're off to. Wash, I'm going to give you I shall say an insight security or insight con to kind of get a feel of what this place is like, what the people are like. Difficulty 2. Ow.
Cool.
Oh, and if someone
The
could roll
other
that for me, I just realized you're away from the machine.
Right, me too. Because I pushed talk. I'm like, oh yeah, somebody's got to roll. Well, there's a part of me that says, sometimes when, like when you meet some of these contacts, sometimes the first thing they're like, there's that moment of like, well, prove yourself, da 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 da. That's kind of what he's waiting for when somebody's like, hey, why should I talk to you? And then that's when he's like, well, if you're a pilot, I'll compete. I'll challenge you for it, kind of thing. So he's not looking to jump in specifically, but just waiting for that moment if one comes.
I'll make it an insight, and I'll actually let your helm operations kick in on, because it's one of those you're trying to feel out if there's someone trying to get yourself at least closer to people who might be the sort who want to challenge you on that, rather than someone who's like just getting drunk or someone's playing cards. It's like, oh well, they're not going to challenge me to flying to anything I would want to do. Take a threat.
What's the difficulty?
2. Oof.
Are you rolling 1?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
We'll get to that in a moment.
He has determination.
He does.
Go ahead.
He was just
clear whatever.
It's
because the last thing.
It's 3 zeros, so, and 2 of them are complications.
Oh shit. Yeah, because we're supposed to blend in with the crowd, not stand out.
So, do you want me to invoke insatiable curiosity for your roll and re-roll it? Those 2?
Yes, like I said, that's fine. Whatever is appropriate. Appropriate.
If it uses determination, you can reroll all 3.
That's what I'm doing.
I'll take insatiable curiosity though, because that's what's almost causing this complication.
Right? Getting nosy in places I shouldn't be.
Hey, so you know how to fly? What the hell? What, fight, buddy? No.
I've never seen so many zeros.
Right? Oh, you mean Fitz, not a slit simulator.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time, and there's a couple times you're walking by a table, just like, and one of the Kalians kind of looks at you, and you get this, you've been a pilot for a while, so you kind of know the look of a fellow pilot who's a hot shot type, right? So it's trying to get a gauge them, and every so often you've kind of caught on this sort of I want to take a swing at you feel, and it's like, that's not what I'm going for. So you kind of pull away from those guys, but eventually you do find somebody. You do after. You actually find what are literally flight simulators in an arcade format, so like nose to nose to each other, and people are competing, fighting each other in simulated battles. It seems to be with the Kalian ship types, but there seems to be other things selectable in the simulator.
Absolutely, and so just start competing with them, and then the moment that the rest of our crew finds out that one of these people might have information we need, that's the person that I want to make a competition with. Kind of like not directly anybody specifically at first, just joining in with and set myself at least a what's the word I want? Show that I am
competent.
competition. Thank you. Yes, that
Worthy competition.
Yeah, that word. Yes, thank you. Words are hard.
Hey, Jolson, you ask what the forehead tattoo. She keeps hearing you keep hearing about. She knows that is a indication of family, rank in society, achievement. Everyone gets one when they're like a little kid. Like once they're old, if they're old enough to stand up, they get a forehead tattoo.
And so each one is individualized.
Yep. Although you and she actually tells you first that there are certain designs along the like if it's more anything that's central is about the person. Anything along the sides is about their connections. So a lot of that you'll see has a very common straight line effect that goes all the way through their hair. That one indicates that they're loyals. If you don't see that line, stay away from them. They're troublemakers. They're not loyal to the Archduchess, and they will probably try to rob you and kill you. She shrugs. And she says that one a little more quietly, like it's a very rude thing to talk about.
Definitely good information to have.
But yeah, that line is an indication of loyalty to the Archduchess, and everyone's connected as part of the Kalian people. You can roll persuasion command or persuasion security if you want to make her get her romantic intentions.
Persuasion's not a attribute.
Whoops.
Presence,
sorry.
Presence command?
Yep. It's a focus, so there. No. Don't mind me mixing systems.
That's awesome.
Screw it. I'm gonna use my joined on trill trait. Kaylin was very, very good at flirting and easing information out of people with his time as a trader.
Okay.
So I'm getting a temporary focus of flirting, I guess. Persuasion.
Sure. Flirting. I'll take it.
It's commonly known as "How you doing?"
Oh, you do it.
Have you ever heard of the shoulder touch? Hey.
Hey.
As you flirt with her, she flirts with you back and convinces you to continue this conversation in her quarters aboard the station.
I look forward to it.
Oh my.
That's how Trip got pregnant.
Zora, you find the crew of the SX Amox Clipper. A male human is sitting around with a bunch of other jovial folk. who are also human. They're all just kind of sitting around, chatting about this, that, or the other.
So they're just
Carrying
talking.
drinks. Yeah, they're just talking, just relaxing.
I assume I need to come up with a name. Kostya, my old friend, it's so good to see you.
And they kind of look over at you. Can we help you, lady?
Like, I was going on the impression that I knew the captain. With the whole intelligence thing advantage.
You kind of give a knowing look at the captain, and the captain kind of... It takes him a second to clue in, and he's like, oh, yeah, hi, Pierre, have a seat. And he kind of waves at one of the other guys to get up. Go check on the ship. What? Just go. Oh, okay. Please, please. You want something to drink, something to eat?
Sure.
And he places an order for some food and some ale. So, what brings you to my table?
Oh, the usual business. Speaking of business, I wonder if you heard any traders lately that deal in odd weaponry.
I mean, don't we all? Especially outside Federation space? It's more profitable, you know. Well, when people aren't pacifists anyway.
I was more speaking with anti-telepathy helmets and maybe some stun grenades and other psychic type weaponry.
Give me insight security. It's opposed.
Take 3 threat.
Hmm.
And would deception count as a focus for this?
Yeah. You're trying to get him to tell you something he doesn't want to tell you, probably. Oh, dear. I'll spend one of those for an extra die, because... you get 1 momentum. He gives you a very... He talks around a lot, and he kind of answers your question. He's like, yeah, this guy could, and he heck even goes so far as to name the Ferengi ship that's nearby, the Crandy, and suggests maybe they would. But that kind of is what tips you off that he's trying very hard to not have any attention on him. He's talking about every other captain on this station and every other ship but his.
So with that, I have cold reading, so I get a bonus momentum during a social conflict.
Okay.
For extra information. Is he purposely trying to dodge anything related to him? Like, other
Heck
than,
yeah.
like, does he, like, consider that he knows more than what he's laying on?
Definitely. He's definitely trying to shell game you a bit and try to get you not to be looking at him, but look at something else. He's helping you openly, but you're getting the sense he's trying to misdirect. Or rather, redirect you, put it that way.
She kind of leans in closer, whispers into his ear. Now, Kostya, go back way back. You owe me a favor. I've come to collect.
Well, you see, and he tries to bolt. He just tries to get up and sprint away from you.
Oh, at that, she's gonna trip him.
Give me daring security. Opposed for some reason. He's going to spend at least one threat.
Spending a momentum.
And he's really good at running away, so spend 2 more threat.
Martial arts.
Yeah, that'll apply. Oh.
Great. Are we getting involved in a bar fight?
Oh, no. Well, I get to re-roll one of those because I spent for his ability to run away better. That's not going to help, I don't think. That did not help. Yeah, he got like 1 success. So you beat him by 2. So 2 momentum. And, yeah, roll your unarmed attack. You with hopefully and probably trying to knock him down with one of your effects.
I'm gonna do it more like as a gentle like trip, like grab him so he doesn't take any damage, and then it's like, pardon me, Casca, where are you going? So there's no damage. Not trying to hurt him.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Roll the damage anyway, just to see if he. This is more just him freaking out a bit or struggling a bit when he hits the ground. And I obviously don't want to reroll any of that, so you got at least 1 effect, so he does go down. He takes maybe 3 stress at most because he kind of thrashes a bit, and then he realizes he's kind of. You could just hit him again, and he's kind of on the ground, so he's not particularly inclined to run anymore. A few people back right away from you, go, whoa, whoa, whoa. See him take a spill.
Everything's fine here, nothing to see, folks.
And with that, scene change. As you go back to the Tenjin.
Yes.
So 3 hours go by.
Oh. Yeah.
No response.
Yeah. She will not instigate things, but she will attempt to hail again. Or have Garrix hail again. Lieutenant Commander, if you would.
Aye, Captain. They're still receiving our message, but they're just simply not responding.
Right. Ensign.
Sir.
Captain, I would...
10 kilometers. 10 kilometers. It's not a lot.
Captain, I would suggest, since they've asked us not to come any closer, that if you do intend to show your strength, you do it in another way other than moving closer.
By all means.
On an unrelated note, I've yet to see the ship separate. I would love a demonstration if that were possible.
Are you sure that's prudent given the circumstances?
Well, if we
mean,
don't move from this exact spot, shouldn't be a problem.
And way better than a weird fleet suddenly showing up out of nowhere.
I mean, the captain seems to be making appropriate decisions. As far as I'm concerned, the captain can do what she needs.
Yes.
You have no hostile intent, do you, Captain?
Don't.
I'm satisfied.
So yeah, we demonstrate our. Why not? Yeah.
The multi-vector assault mode?
Only everything just goes vertically. We don't move from that spot. Just goes vertically.
It's still going to give me a control con task difficulty 2, assisted by ship's computers con.
Yep.
Gearix.
Part of me
Well,
says that since we didn't want combat for this thing, we changed it from multi-vector mode to something like, like a different name, like something more diplomatic. But I can't.
Well,
think of
they
that
don't know
name.
what it's called. They only see the result.
my control con
True.
is a 14. Do you want me to do that?
I have an 11.
All right, I'm going to spend one momentum then.
That basically let my fries go cold. Oh, I'm regretting
Would
that.
starship propulsion possibly apply?
With complication, it would.
All right, we'll forget that then. I'll roll without a focus.
You did it.
And the ship roll.
Oh yeah, the ship rolls something. Da.
Structure or
there.
something since
Probably
it's
structure
separating.
Yeah, I would think structure engineering.
Assisted
Or
by
structure
computer
con.
con.
Computer
Oh.
con.
Yep.
I was
Oh,
thinking
I
con,
think
though.
that makes more sense if we're talking about the actual maneuver between the actual ships.
Well, it succeeded, so.
Whoa, way too big.
Oh god! And suddenly the saucer section blows up and turns in the wrong direction.
Okay, does this mean I never leave the ship again? You guys are creeping me out.
I mean, we did do the coolest thing ever while you were away.
Damn. Let go of the button.
Separation successful, Captain.
I'll reorganize
Just get
these.
ready to put us back together should they respond.
As soon as Altair gets this all figured out, we're gonna undo it.
Yep. Pretty much.
Should we hail them again, Captain?
Sure.
You can give me presence command or presence security difficulty 2 to as part of your hail kind of pose a bit, as it were. It's like,
can I assist since I
Sure.
suggested? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, can I use a focus in psychology since I was trying to... I was coming from a perspective of trying to goad them into talking to us by manipulating typical humanoid responses to aggression.
yeah, totally.
Threat for a dice, and yay or nay on persuasion, diplomacy, or composure. I'm trying to persuade them to talk to me.
Not being tried to be diplomatic.
Diplomatic at the same time, but yeah.
I'd say diplomacy.
Gunboat
Still-
diplomacy.
Yeah, it is very much so.
I
Here,
mean,
look at my cool ship. Isn't it neat? It can separate to 3 parts with and independently controlled.
Oh god. Oh, 2 1s. That's even better.
That generates 1, 2, 3, 4 momentum.
and she says very out loud, very defiantly, kind of, "This is Captain Mira Nadal of the USS Tenjin to Izrov 7.
You're getting a response back.
The station separates.
Oh God.
All right.
And it actually seems to be a visual communication.
On screen.
And standing before you is a gentleman who seems to have dark red hair. Seems to be cut very, very short. Almost just shy of buzz, like it's still just a little longer. He has actual gemstones embedded into his forehead of red and blue in a diamond formation. And he is, and it looks to be very obviously some sort of armor plates that have blue sparkling material at all the joints as a lining. And he seems to, his whole left breast is covered in metals. This is Kale Military Base Command. You are speaking with Chis Lizamar Secor. How can I help you, Captain?
Can I Troy this a little bit and get a reading from him?
Insight medicine. Difficulty 2.
This time actually be useful, unlike Troy.
Hey.
And
You bite your tongue, sir.
psychology.
I like Deanna, but you're right.
Go for it.
And
Yeah, anytime she tried this, she failed. So
Well, except for the pack lids.
The Packlids, and remember she was a Romulan on that ship once as a captain just for a second. She kicked ass.
Okay. Please don't judge me. I'm gonna raise the complication to 3 or 4 to get extra questions if I succeed with using a psychoanalyst.
All of it.
I'll increase complication to 4. Sure, why not?
Well, I mean, I think it's up to me how far I increase it. I was seeing if people thought I was crazy for doing that or not.
No, complication makes things interesting.
Okay, complication range 4, and I'm gonna buy. What was the difficulty?
It's opposed.
Tasks. I'm gonna buy up to 4 dice, so 3 momentum.
Jamie says do it.
That's never caused me a problem before.
you hush.
Oh,
At least you
I'm
can
gonna
re-roll
spend
that.
2 momentum to get it. No, I can't. I have collaboration, not any.
Still
of the
use 2
other
momentum
ones.
to negate it.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. I'm gonna use 2 momentum to negate it. Oh Lord.
You.
Stand by, please.
He done beat me.
As you begin trying to reach out across the stars, you get a splitting headache.
That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 if a focus was used.
Oh, don't worry, he's spending what he got back. Because somebody wanted to invade my mind.
Oh Lord.
Luckily, I got my phone to be able to see the rolls, but that's all I can see.
All those fails.
Oh God, I went down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, I'm just gonna fall to the ground then.
All of a sudden, you hear you talking with him. Your counselor starts bleeding profusely from his nose and just collapses.
I kind of have them mute the communication. Medical team to the bridge.
Yes, Captain.
I was even less useful than Troy.
That will be daring medicine, difficulty 2, assisted by ship's computer medicine to get a team up there.
Oh, good Lord Almighty.
We have someone for this. We have Fleur.
Yes.
I am always.
Yeah, we can spend a cruise report and Fleur can do it.
I'm always cautious to involve Fleur in anything because I feel she might take me hostage.
Other way around. Would her triage would not apply? She does not have an applicable focus. Okay, I'll just roll from Wifey then. You said daring medicine for that?
Yep.
Okay, she'll spend our last momentum then.
Why won't triage work?
It's one person. Triage is managing multiple people at the same time.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Okay, well, it's there, but there's a complication.
So yeah, you continue, Captain. Don't worry, the next thing's gonna come up.
Sure.
I'm gonna die in the first game.
Vengeance will be
She
mine.
looks
I
at
mean,
him.
go.
Looks at the screen and goes, here a lawyer
Negotiator.
on behalf of Captain Heimaker. Yeah, she knows I don't. Can't say it. I request that we have permission to move closer to the planet and perhaps on board the St. John.
You can give me Presence Con, complication 3, difficulty currently a 4. He is really not happy right now.
Diffuse the tension? I have a diffuse the tension talent.
That lets you reroll a d20 or gives you an extra d20? Gives you an extra d20, I think. I forget.
Yeah.
Extra d20, so.
For avoiding violence, which is kind of what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, because he seems to be one more button press away from calling for the fleet.
Yeah. Diplomacy focus.
I mean, yeah. This is the scarier part of diplomacy.
Take. I'm rolling 5 dice, but I get 1 for diffuse the tension. Oh yeah.
Sorry, say again?
5 dice, but I get 1 for diffuse the tension.
Oh, he's spending 3 whatever to get the 4th die, but the 5th die is his.
I don't think it works that way, but yeah, it would be 5. Yeah.
Oh, so you're buying up to 4 and you're letting the 5th one be your extra.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Normally it would follow the rule that the does. If you set an extra, that happens first, then you pay for the extra.
I made it.
You did. It would be like a, yeah.
Hooray!
Very well. One part of your flotilla may approach. The one you're on seems suiting. The other 2 can stay back.
And now you merge.
Very well. No, she'll leave it that way.
Oh, it was a joke in the sense of what he said.
Oh yeah. No, she seriously thought about remerging the ship and just taking the whole thing, but.
Captain, quick question. Was that 4 threat and momentum or 5 threat flat?
It was 5 threat flat because we didn't have momentum.
You had like 1 sitting there.
Know that. But yeah, we'll move the Alpha section forward towards the St. John. And I will have the other 2 sections standing by as backup.
As you start moving away, actually all the way even back here, I will say, as part of that complication from earlier, Fleur isn't on the Alpha section. She's in Beta section. She's directing medical teams from Alpha to get to him.
Oh no.
Yep.
So do you continue moving the ship
so
forward?
it's just gonna take
Just
long.
do it. Just
Can
do
we
it.
can we do a quick transport?
Yeah, just
You can.
From one.
Yeah. Transport the counselor to beta section.
I will happily do a site-to-site transport for that.
Okay. That will be...
It's
Tell him
what?
you're
Counsel-
sending me to a pad.
Zora, yes, that was lethal.
Wait, it was lethal?
Yeah.
But it was only 5.
It's on the other guy's end.
Oh.
Yeah,
Tell me now.
He was trying to kill you.
This is my lesson for not playing Alan.
Well, you could have... he would have failed the psychic check, though.
You could just not use psychic powers whenever they help you.
He couldn't use psychic powers against Alan, though. That wouldn't have made any sense.
I know. Why would you even try it? It would be control engineering for the site-to-site.
Difficulty 4?
Yep. Assisted by ship sensors engineering.
Okay, I'll use our last momentum and also 2 threat for 4 dice.
Okay.
And
Look
I
at
have and I have a focus, so
Look at it this way, counselor. When you wake up, you'll have your own section of starship to command.
I have cautious engineering now, so I gotta reroll that 0.
Come on, complication. Aw.
Okay, so that's 1 momentum.
You also get the ship's assistance.
Oh wait, I also have my metal power that I never remember to use, so I'm gonna roll 1 challenge. Okay, we do not gain momentum back.
Oh, right. Your metal power.
Yeah, that I always forget that I have.
Sensors engineering
Okay.
for the ship.
Altera's like, thought y'all had enough mind reading on the Sarek. How about some of this?
Okay, that's another 2 momentum. Cool.
So yeah, you gain your momentum, and you're able to beam her over as you guys start moving, approaching Isar 7. Before you do, Fleur is now has the counselor in her care.
Take care of him, darling.
Wait, him in her care. I mixed up my words. Duh.
Pronouns are confusing, I guess.
So, Fleur has a dying person on her biobed. What is she going to do? She does benefit from having a medical team with her because she was able to call in people who are the experts on that section who knew about treating betazoids.
Turn
Okay.
on the EMH.
Probably a cortical stimulator.
Turn on the EMH. Turn on the EMH.
No, she'd probably
She's better-
She'd probably try to do a diagnosis first. She's a nurse, so she'd probably try to diagnose the nature of the injury.
She's also better than the EMH because she has cautious medicine.
I will point out the
No.
EMH doesn't cost you crew support because you have it as a talent.
Right, y'all shut up. I bought that for a reason.
Okay. We'll use
I
the
spent an
EMH.
arc on that bastard.
We'll use the EMH then.
Okay, yeah, she activates the EMH.
We have the stats for that.
Oh, that I don't know.
We didn't even have to beam him over. I know, but I wasn't going to stop you.
Why didn't we have to beam him over?
Because the EMH can be on anywhere in the ship because hall emitters are everywhere on the ship.
But we can't get any benefit from the medical bay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at least right now he's like actually in sick in a functioning sick
which
bay.
which will reduce the difficulty.
Which is true.
So the stats for him, I believe, the advanced EMH is in what book? Is it Command? I'll give you a sheet here, Zora. But yeah, if I can get freaking to the thing. That's
Oh
not the
god, we
button.
have Andy. We have the Andy Dick one.
No,
You're
you have the
going.
Bashir model. No, you have a better one.
Oh yeah.
How about the Bashir?
I thought the Bashir was the LMH,
What is the LMH?
long-term medical hologram.
Ah. I have no idea what y'all are referencing by the Bashir model. I'd have to look that up.
It's one episode in DS9.
Yeah, they somehow like the Zimmer, whoever the actual Robert Picardo's human character Zimmerman is interviewing Bashir as the template for a long-term medical hologram, and that's when they find out that he's.
Oh, but same as the Mark 1, that it's in the core book. Okay. Do. But yes, she has the assistance of the AMH. What is the nature of the emergency?
We have a betazoid exhibiting bleeding from the nose and lack of consciousness.
Well, that's no good. We probably want to stop that. Some sort of internal bleeding, possible sonic infraction.
Quite possibly.
All right. I assume you want me to take the lead then?
By all means.
Very well. Cortical stimulator. Let's get that sorted before this gets too much worse.
All right.
And since you're in med bay, normally that would cost you opportunity, but you're in bay, so
Yes.
you grab it. Oh, wait, I have the thing open. So yes, I'm gonna get you the stats here in a second. But you're trying to figure out what's wrong with him first?
Well, the doctor's taking the lead. He'll probably just administer the cortical stimulator.
Well, the stimulator is once he dies and revive him back. That's him being ahead of time going, let's put those on now.
Oh, okay, yeah, so yeah, a diagnosis.
Where are the sets? Sorry, you might be entering these in already, but it's 2564. Focuses in emergency medicine, surgery, and xenobiology is the default.
Frontier medicine.
So you're gonna get it would be a reason medicine. Trying to figure out what's wrong is all you're doing right now. So difficulty of 2.
Okie doke. I don't suppose bedside manner would apply.
No, the patient's unconscious.
Fair enough. Okay. You said difficulty 2?
Yep.
Okay, 1 moment to spend. Holy mother of... Okay, cautious medicine. Cautious medicine. I'm going to reroll 3 of these.
I think caution only lets you reroll one of them, though.
It does only let you reroll 1.
Okay, well then I'm going to reroll the complication.
Okay, so the doctor can actually help you. And actually, while she's filling that out, this is because you actually got something. It's not enough, I don't think. Nope, not enough for him to help. That said, she did. I forgot the difficulty down by 1 because you got a team down there. So whoops. So I said difficulty was 2, so it would have been brought down to 1. So yeah, you do know Fleur does know what's wrong. It appears the patient has been subjected to an intense sonic shock and has rather severe internal bleeding in the brain.
All right. Fleur is going to try to administer an anticoagulant. I think would be appropriate here.
Okay.
To just to try to prevent the bleeding from expanding.
Always from clotting up in the brain and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's not like a buildup of fluid in the brain because that would be bad.
What else does she do?
She's also going to put on a cortical monitor to try to determine if it's ongoing or if it's going to progress further.
With the anticoagulant, this person is currently unstable. The coagulant is going to make it easier to treat him. However, that's a lot of blood in the brain. That shouldn't be there. This will get worse if nothing is done.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'm not good at my medical technobabble. Why did I take control of this character?
You got to get the blood off the brain. Set up for surgery.
Yeah, she's gonna prep for she's gonna start prepping for surgery in order to shut the fluid out.
May I make a suggestion?
Of course.
Might we not want to stabilize his vitals first before we start opening him up?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Can you help me with that?
I certainly can. And
Right.
hand me that over there. And it's a daring medicine task, difficulty 1. Just stabilize him so he doesn't die at the end of the scene.
Okay. Yeah. No focuses here that are gonna help.
Well, I mean, if he dies, then his
The Dr. Willow system we are in
science roll
sick bay.
better.
So is it technically difficulty 0 because of the sick bay advantage, or is that with that?
You're right. Yep.
Cool.
I was waiting for you to invoke it.
All right. Doctor can roll. Doctor could assist.
Maybe Flair will succeed more if we tell her that Alan will come back.
3.
That is 3 momentum. 4 momentum gained.
Oh, that's right, because that's focused.
Yep.
Yep.
So he is stabilized, and I've managed not to kill the count. Damn. Oh, the mic was on. Sorry. But yeah, you're able to stabilize him, and then Fleur and the rest of them start prepping for surgery and the EMH starts getting smucked up. Well, he changes.
Right, I was going to say, just zoom. Yeah.
Suddenly he's in the surgical weird head and body thing.
Right, the Pulaski moment with Picard and the heart. All in the reds.
And we're going to scene change back to the trade station as the Tenjin approaches the planet and is able to get into a stable orbit with little other fuss.
The funny thing is, they think that this section is any less dangerous than the other 2, but that's funny.
Well, they don't want all 3 to be that close. It's like, how about you just send one of those?
I mean, I could have just put it back together and brought the whole damn thing, but I'm being cheeky.
Jolson, give me a daring security difficulty opposed.
Oh boy.
As you are going to have your liaison with the local.
Did you get permission from the captain for sex?
I'm going to try to re-roll one of those.
Yeah, we'll definitely say that's something you don't come to the counselor for.
At current, Jolson, this may determine whether or not you challenge a value or what have you. But as you go into the room and she invites you to go in ahead of her, and you step in, and it looks really nice, and then you feel a sudden pressure along your neck, and it yanks, and you're suddenly being asphyxiated.
Ouch.
So, and you get one more than you did. I don't know if you want to reroll any of that, or if you have any way to do that, because you're in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to do with this unless I can spend momentum.
You've had to spend that at the top of it. The only thing I can think of is if you, well, no, even re-rolling wouldn't help you. You got 2 1s. Let's get a 2 out of that.
I don't have focus, so.
Ow. Okay, one moment. Her security's not as high as the other guy, so this won't hurt as much. He said, cursing himself. You take 2 stress, and you're unable to as your airway's being closed.
Oh, fun.
Back to you. It's your turn as you're being effectively garroted in her.
Can I pull out my Type 1 phaser and fire it behind me on stun?
You certainly can.
All right.
It's going to increase the base difficulty by 1 because you're firing while in a hand-to-hand like that.
Yep.
But there's no opposed because you're rolling flat out.
Okay.
It's difficulty 2 to hit a target normally.
So difficulty 3, I'll spy 2 dice with momentum.
Do we have like buddy feature with this, where somebody's got an eye from a distance, or no?
No, he wandered off
Probably
with
not.
her while you guys were doing stuff.
I did say I did say I would like cycle back to Zora and like give her the heads up.
Well, you were going to, but she beat you on the seduction, so she kind of said, "No. Well, you can call her when we get to my quarters." It's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
You're right. It might be a heads up.
Okay, so I have 4 dice, no focus, and what am I rolling? Daring security?
Control security, my memory says. I'm gonna double check though, make sure I'm not lying to you. It's been a while since I've shot a phaser.
Control security, that actually helps.
Hey. Control security. Also, I gotta find my combat. Oh, well, that hits.
What?
Get more momentum.
Who says
Roll
nerds can't
your
fight?
damage for your for Type 1 phaser.
Okay, which is base 2 plus security, so 4 dice.
Yep.
And this is on stun. Please don't vaporize people.
I won't. You have to spend threat for it to be kill anyway. Oh wow.
What?
Ouch.
Do you want to reroll? Can you reroll any of that?
You can always spend a momentum to reroll.
Aha.
Yeah, I'll spend a momentum to reroll that.
Reroll the
When you spend
Wait, why
momentum,
did
how
you-
many do you get to reroll? Is it just one,
Wait,
or
why
did- all of
3, or
them.
all? Oh,
It's
okay.
all the zeros.
Okay, hey, so I just have to roll like 4 down. Okay, I went down to weapons and put 4 into add it, but I didn't know it automatically added it. So I'll just go up here, roll 4.
Well, you'd roll 3 because you already got a 2.
To do 3 stress to her, because I'm just gonna count the first 4,
That works.
and then I'm gonna count the first 3 in the reroll. But still, that's 3 stress. So you phaser her, and she kind of flinches at it. She tries to. She starts wrenching on it some more.
Spend 3 momentum to do extra damage.
No.
Yeah, because she'll go down if you. All you got to do is spend 2 more. I thought. Get an
Yeah.
injury.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh no. No. Aw, darn helpful players.
Yeah, you do that whole move forward and flip her over you kind of thing, and
Yep.
Yeah.
This is where I'll
she's kind
carry those speds to threat to keep her up.
Don't give the DM ideas.
Good thing I'm not the DM. Might be worse. Be dragons and stuff. No, but well, I guess there can't be space dragons anyway. I have enough threat for it. I mean, so
We've run into space dragons before.
as
I mean-
she starts wrenching back, you kind of aim somewhere behind your own head, and zap and pew, and you just feel her thump, and you cough as you're finally able to breathe again.
Is the door closed? Did anyone
Yes.
else see this? Okay. Awesome. Well, that was fun. Now I have full permission in to search her apartment. Or
And
not.
you hear a clunk as the door seems to lock itself. And the lights in the room dim, and you see blinking blue and red lights. And it says something in a language the translator doesn't pick up.
Who wants to bet that the internal sensors cause call it the phaser fire?
Oh,
That's a
most
safe
likely.
bet.
So yeah, you're in the room, flashing blue and yellow, blue and red light with a alien language demanding you do something.
Put
Who
your
knows?
hands into the circles on the wall.
What do you do, Jolson?
I want to search the apartment for anything incriminating really quick.
Give me daring security difficulty. I'm gonna say 3 because you're kind of trying to do this quickly.
Guess I'll use that last momentum for one more dice.
You scrounge around, but short of ransacking the place and tearing furniture apart, you're not finding anything. Which you could do that. You could succeed at cost, but it'll be very obvious somebody this place.
Okay. I'm gonna put the phaser back into my clothes. And is there like a wall panel computer or something?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. You know, nerve my way out of this. Can I get into the systems and somehow spoof the sensors into saying, "Oh, this was a false report. This was like a plasma fire from a replicator."
Yeah, you're going to be opposed though. It's an opposed roll, and the station is going to be assisting the other side, not you.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Okay, but you can.
What am I rolling?
It would be daring science. Or daring security, theoretically, but this is more you're trying to tell the computer everything's fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Okay. And I'm rolling opposed, so let's spend and momentum. No, let's spend threat to buy 4 dice.
So I actually get 5 back, I think. I always forget. I really should have that in a postie somewhere in here.
3.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3, depending.
I can literally just put it there. All right. For next time. Bam.
And focus on communications, since I'm trying to tell the
Yeah.
computer.
I'll give you that.
And let's see. I believe I still have one normal milestone left, so I'm gonna use the determination. Sometimes you have to field test an idea. I'm not used to these computer systems. This is new to me, and yeah, I'm not used to lying to computers, so I'm bullshitting this.
I'll give it to you, yeah. I think I know what milestone that is, and most of them would make sense in this scenario.
All right, so I get double determination for my Cochrane Award.
So 1 for an extra die. You can give yourself an immediate advantage. You can do something else. I think what the other things are.
And
Actually, use
immediate
it for-
advantage, unlock the door.
Sure, yeah, I'll give that to you.
Okay, and I roll
Yeah, you
4
can do
dice.
that.
Sounds right.
Oh, I've used it for double auto successes, but
Next movie quote. Your mama was a snowblower.
We don't tell Alan that. We tell him his mom was a microwave.
I mean, I'm still sending Alan messages, and he hasn't responded, which makes me feel really sad. But
Well, if the GM tries a little harder, he'll respond.
If the GM does. Oh, I see. Waiting on your roll there, Jolson. Oh.
Jolson went poof. It croaked.
Jolson?
It's fate.
Of all the time for my internet to crash.
Oh. So you need someone else to roll for you then?
Oh, we were just thinking you were conceding your defeat.
I don't know. Did my roll go through?
It didn't, no.
Ugh. Sucks because I have two twos on my side.
Yeah, I know. I got no momentum 3 and then Jolson on. Can someone else roll for Jolson?
Not it.
yeah, I don't have access to his sheet.
Daring
2 dice.
Oh, you have it already
Yes.
set up too.
Focus.
Bang. Then plus the station helps. No, it doesn't. That's 1,
Is
2,
I'm guessing 2.
2. Yep. 2 versus 4. You get 2 momentum out of it. And yeah, not only does the door open, the lights go back to normal.
Cool. I'm getting out of there. As cool and as calm as I can.
Maybe evidence? Just
You
maybe?
didn't want to stick around for the party? I'm sure the after party was great after the garroting.
What evidence?
Miss unconscious.
The
Don't you
phaser
need to
burn on the side of her
search some
head.
Things?
Oh, yeah, I guess I need to, I told the computer that if there's a plasma fire in the replicator, like, something went terrible with that, so I need to jerry-rig that going terrible.
I mean, maybe she knows something, or the computer knows something about the weapons. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I already...
He already searched the area for stuff.
Let's
Yeah,
say
you're right,
Wash finally gets a hold of you and says, "Well, did you tie her up and wake her up and question her?"
Yeah, I already searched the apartment. Guards are definitely going to be on the way anyways.
No, did you question her?
I'm not sure if I have time. The alarm went off. I'm sure, or even my spoof, the guards will still be on their way.
True, but if it's already said as it's a, like I said, it's the idea that I caught up and we're having this discussion to help Jolson out, but it's depending on how you look at the fiction, I guess. Then
Actually, you know what? If I'm saying it's plasma fire, then there's no reason for me to run. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm like giving her care and stuff when the guards arrive. I'm gonna play stupid.
Presence security. Opposed when they get to you.
Focus in negotiations.
What are you offering the security guards?
Good point.
An alibi? A lie? I don't know.
I mean, you could try to bribe them.
Yeah, yeah, I could try to bribe him. Say, hey, this is just gonna be more paperwork for you. We can just ignore that this has happened, and she's obviously injured, or she needs help. Nope, not questioning.
You can spend 2 momentum, or you can roll that with a focus at complication range of 3. Total of 3, I should say. And it would be opposed, but if you spend the 2, you're just gonna throw enough Federation credits at them that just don't care.
Hold on, I think my
I think the internet's fighting Jolson again, and it's winning. We'll actually quickly transition over to Zora. So you got the captain. You're able to pull him aside. Thankfully, no one's asking too much about the very quick altercation because they didn't.
Kaskia, please tell me what you know.
Look, I got tricked. All right, I went to buy some fuel, and it didn't go through the most official channels. And next thing I know, I'm stuck with a crate of stun guns and helmets. I don't know what that. I can't go back to Federation space with that stuff, so I unloaded it as soon as I could. And kind of been waiting out till the Federation ship went away. The Starfleet ship went away anyway. So
where did you unload it to?
Here.
Okay, I think I'm back.
We transitioned to Zora for a bit.
Okay.
I sold it to some Ferengi on the Crandy.
You sold it to some Ferengi.
Yeah, and what they did with it, I don't know. I don't particularly care, really. I'm just glad I don't have them.
She kind of twists his arm a little bit. I need to know who this Ferengi is.
The Daemon of the Crandy. I don't remember his name. I just know the ship. That's all I really care about.
She lets go of his arm.
Oh,
and she smiles. Thank you, Casca. Been most helpful. Try not to drink too much, okay? And she walks off.
So you walk off, and as you're walking around, you notice that Wash seems to be leaning into his, talking a little bit into his hand. We see you, Jolson.
Yay!
Alan, where's Jolson?
I've been trying to get him up on the communicator, but no response.
We need to go now.
Yes, Commander. I tried Jolson again.
And Zora just face palms when you say, yes, Commander.
Jolson, the question will be, are you going to try to test to see if you can get them to, with the focus at a complication of 3, or are you going to spend 2 momentum to throw enough credits that they go away?
I want to say that Wash wouldn't have used that. That's Jamie, because I'm laying in a bed dizzy. So Wash wouldn't have used any of that. Because remember, I'm not Starfleet, but he is.
Oh, it's funny. It's a funny beat moment of like, you know
Absolutely.
exactly.
No. I'm laughing in the sense that I forgot, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Remember, Wash wouldn't have done it though.
So what is Jolson gonna do? Face off with two choices: rolling and hoping, or spending the last of the momentum.
You know what, let's spend the momentum.
Okay.
I'm not feeling good about that roll.
So you're able to pay your way away from them. They don't ask you any questions. They just tell you to. They'll take their several thousand credits and they'll tell you to go somewhere else. I don't really care where you go. Just don't be here.
Okay.
And eventually you can hear a little coming from your combat hidden away in your clothes from them. We've probably been hearing it for the last while you're trying to negotiate with these guys, but you couldn't really reach for it while you were talking to them.
I respond. Jolson here.
This is
Jolson,
Wash.
sorry, tell Jolson that we need to meet him at the shuttle pronto.
He heard you.
Yeah, well, I just got done with possibly the second worst eight of all my lives. So now's a good time to leave.
And on that, we briefly cut away as we see a Ferengi ship from the perspective of the audience, as it were, pulls away from the station, maneuvers a bit away so it's not like right on top of them, and then warps out of the system. Which the beta section, the Tenjin does sense, but they don't know anything's wrong yet, so this will have to be a two-parter.
Ooh.
Woo. We're all
Just
gonna
would
die.
approve.